and welcome to the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily. Terry Spain, Zane Garcia from Titusville High School, home of the Terriers. It's the homecoming game tonight between Titusville and MCC. The Hustlers coming from Melbourne. This is going to be a big one, Terry. I think, especially it being homecoming, Titusville really wants this game.
Yeah, they definitely do. And I kind of like that name, the Hustle. You got to come in there, you got to wreak havoc. Both of these teams, they're going to come and lay it all out on the line. But most importantly, this is the battle of them pushing the guard. They're trying to supplant their team. And it's a good opportunity for both teams who've kind of struggled this year to come out and say, hey, look, we still got a little fight in us. Especially the Terriers, but they don't point intended. They're dogs. They want to come out and bite immediately.
Yeah, the story for Titusville this year has been those narrow losses. They've come so close to winning so many games. It started out the first game of the year with Heritage. That loss in overtime really kind of sprung a couple losses that were just by a touchdown, just by a couple points. Last week, they went on the road to O'Galley, and you look at that game, it was 27-14 was the final in that game. But really, it was Titusville's game to lose. I mean, they were winning 14-13. They had the game. And really, it was just a couple key plays by O'Galley's defense, and they came up big when it mattered most. Story for MCC is a little bit different this year so far. MCC lost their quarterback, Brogan McNabb, week 1 to an AC joint injury, which really has changed the trajectory of their season, losing their captain and really a 3-star player that's very, very talented. So it'll be pretty interesting to see exactly how they plan to move the ball on this Titusville team. But we are going to have the colors being shown in just a moment. Once again, thank you all for tuning in to the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily. Great presentation there by the Titusville Band of the national anthem. So we are now soon to tune in for a great game between the Titusville Terriers and the MCC Hustlers. Once again, we mentioned both teams are coming off of losses. MCC's coming off of a bye week, and I think that they need this game, especially having lost the past couple of games. So it'll be really, really interesting to see what type of MCC team comes out here. Titusville is going to fight no matter win, lose. They're going to come out and they're going to play their game. The defense is going to fight hard. They have an exceptional defense. And really with Bill Billingsley leading this offense, they've been dynamic at times. I think Tank Harvey's going to be obviously the most featured player for the Terriers team. So it'll be real interesting to see what type of Terrier team comes out. Terry, tell me a little bit, do you have any keys to the game or keys to success for either side?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of keys to the game, Zane. You know, one of the things that I always say that an opposing team is coming on homecoming, playing against a team doing their homecoming. One of the things that they definitely have to do for MCC is protect the football. They're not going to be without their quarterback, their star quarterback, who's a commit to UAB, correct?
Yeah.
And so that's a big loss. This young man is committed to a pretty good college football team. So you're going to have to lean on your sophomore who hasn't had that much experience. So turn over the ball, but then you're going to have to win on all phases of the game. Football, defense, offense, but special teams is going to play a real key too as well. If you can get a block punt or you can just make all your field goals or extra points, those are the things you're going to need for MCC. And then for the Titusville Terriers, you're going to have to protect home field. You know, this is your homecoming. You got a lot of people in the stands. People are coming out here to watch some of these players play for the last time in high school football. So you have to come out here and just run the ball. You have a lot of great talent on that side of the ball. So if you run it, you have a really good team, that would definitely be able to put you in and be able to supplant your victory tonight for homecoming.
Both sides playing without really top guys. Brogan McNabb injured for the Hustlers, and big number 66 Jeremy Priest is injured for the Titusville Terriers. He's one of those guys. He plays both sides of the ball. He plays offensive line and defensive line. He's going to be a game changer, and without him, it's going to be a different type of feel for that offense and for that defense of the Terriers. But they got guy after guy. This Titusville Terriers defensive line is really led by Bill Jefferson. He's been a dog all year long, and if you hold the ball too long, you're going to see Jefferson dragging you to the ground. So it's going to be really, I think it's one of those games, Terry. It's going to be a little bit of back and forth, but it's going to be what offense can settle in first.
Yeah, you're definitely right about that. But another thing that you have to take in consideration, this field is wet. It rained a lot up here in Titusville, and when I was a couple hours ago, when I was looking outside, I was like, man, I know it's probably going to affect the way these young men are going to run on the field because it's wet. This fields get wet.
Right.
So it's drying up. It's not wet no more. We're hoping for no more rain, but definitely the wet field can definitely be a factor in tonight's game as well.
I agree. So we're getting set for kickoff in just a few minutes. MCC is taking the field now wearing their all white with those yellow helmets. Titusville is getting ready to run out onto the field themselves wearing blue and black, blue helmets. It is their homecoming game. They're going to be really trying to get this one because we saw a week ago a homecoming game, and it was Bayside and Astronaut, and Bayside dropped that one at home. Terry, if I remember correctly, you're supposed to schedule the easier teams on your homecoming game.
Yeah, you're supposed to do the layup games, as we like to call it. But MCC pretty much said we're not. I know we're missing our star quarterback, but this is not going to be a layup, and they're going to have to keep going and attacking this defense the entire time. And then, like I mentioned before, one of the other keys that I did not mention is that for Titusville, they're going to have to force turnovers.
Yeah.
You already know that MCC doesn't have their quarterback. If you can force these turnovers early, they're probably going to be a running clock tonight.
You want to get the defense, especially for Titusville, you want to get MCC reeling. You want to get them behind the sticks. If you allow MCC to come out here and sort of kind of work the way they want to work, getting 4, 5, 6, 7 yards a gain, staying on schedule, that's gonna hurt you. So you gotta really play to your style, but at the same time, you want to mix in some pressure because, like you mentioned, Terry, they don't have Brogan McNabb, the 3-star quarterback committed to UAB for MCC. So you're wanting to make this sophomore quarterback feel some pressure.
Yeah, and you best believe that Titusville coach knows that this young man is not playing, and they're probably going to blitz a lot. I know I would if I was the defensive coordinator. I will blitz, put a lot of pressure on this young man and hope we can get some turnovers. But you got to stay true to who you are if you're MCC and hustle your way out of this game.
Once again, thank you all for tuning in to the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily. Terry Spain, Zane Garcia. We have the Titusville Terriers hosting the MCC Hustlers from Al Wernicke Field. This is a big one. I think if you look at both these teams coming off of losses, MCC currently on a 3-game losing streak. Titusville has lost the past 2. Both these teams are dire for a win, and you really look at it's week 7. The playoffs are going to be right around the corner. Both these teams are going to say, hey, we probably are a playoff team, but we need to be better prepared for the playoffs.
Yeah, and it's the tale of two seasons. Last year, MCC was 8-3, but the last time these two teams played, I believe Titusville won 59-3.
Wow.
And I know some of these players are probably freshmen when that happened, but they haven't forgotten that, you know. And so if you're a coach, you will circle that and say, some of you probably were not here at this time, but the last time this team played us, they beat us down pretty good. So you have to look at that as well. But, yeah, this is going to be an interesting game, Zane. I'm excited. I want to see – this is my first time ever watching MCC play this year.
Yep.
And so I'm going to see how they're going to come out without their sensational quarterback and how they're going to come out and get a win.
Yeah, it'll be really, really interesting. I think you look at the big-time players on each side. You look at Noah Flores for MCC, number 0. He's going to be playing both sides of the ball, defensive back, but he's really going to be all over the field tonight on offense. I think when you have your star quarterback, who we mentioned earlier, he's a dual-threat guy. He's a threat running the ball as well as throwing it deep, and when you don't have him, you really have to rely on your playmakers to do more than what they normally would do. So expect a lot of Noah Flores, number 0 for MCC, touching the ball. And then, you don't have to say too much about Tank Harvey. You know he's going to be touching the ball on offense for the Terriers quite a bit. So Terriers about to run out to their band lining up for them, and the captains are now taking midfield. Before we start the action tonight, once again, we'd like to thank you all for tuning in, and we'd like to thank our sponsors, as always, Health First, Eastern Florida State College, All Points, Mike Erdman Automotive, and Auto Expo 95. We'd like to thank all of our sponsors before this kickoff. Captains are at midfield right now. This game will be kicking off in just a moment. But, I'm excited about this one. I think you look at really both of the seasons that they've had, you can say, hey, both these teams have played a really tough schedule. Titusville traveled to West Orange. That's not going to get much harder of a game than that. And then MCC, conversely, they had to travel to Sarasota and play a Riverview team, which I remember Riverview from my days playing basketball, but all around their program, football, basketball, baseball, has always been exceptional. So both these teams played hard scheduled, and tonight they're like, hey, we're not going to be the one continuing our losing streak.
Somebody's going to get beat up tonight.
Yep.
So and if you're Titusville, you have your entire crowd out here for homecoming. You can't disappoint them. And I know that weighs in their mind. And so they're going to have to be mindful of that because, as we saw, the band is rocking. The fans are out here. They have to go and produce on the field.
They do. It's a loaded-up crowd tonight for Titusville. A lot of fans out here. The student section is going to be rocking too. Terriers' student section is always rocking. I remember days of coming here playing against the Terriers in basketball, and their student section always showed out really well. So this is going to be a big-time game for both sides. I think everyone watching is probably just as excited as Terry and I are.
Yeah. We want to thank everybody for watching. We have Juan Rodriguez, he's on, Teresa Sabin. We have a lot of people that are watching. Miss Felix is watching as well, so she's showing her pride for homecoming night. So thanks, everybody, for watching.
Titusville takes the field, I like those blue uniforms with the Ville on the back.
Yeah, that's pretty slick there.
It is. Both sides.
Good evening,
getting ready to take the field for the opening kickoff.
It's a good night to play college football, too. You know, like I mentioned before, we did have rain earlier, but that rain now has kind of taken the humidity out the air.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good day. You know, you can just sit back and relax and don't have to be smothered by the humidity tonight.
Yeah, it is. It is a beautiful night for football. And I looked at it earlier this morning, and I was thinking, like, oh, shoot, we're going to have another rain game like we did last week. But, no, the skies have cleared, and the sun is starting to set, and we're having some beautiful conditions for football. Titusville will kick off to start our contest.
And as I mentioned before, Zane, special teams are going to really have to show out for MCC if you want to win this game. So this will be a good opportunity if they can get this ball, maybe get it to like the 50 if they can, or even run it back. That will actually be good field position on your opening kickoff.
Indeed it would. And I like to see some of the players wearing pink. You know, we're now in Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I thought that was always cool to see players wearing, whether it's pink socks or pink accessories all around. I like that a lot.
Yeah, so do I, and it's adopted itself. It trickled down. It started, you know, NFL and then college and then now high school, so it's good to see that.
So Titusville will kick off. And the ball is going to trickle out of bounds, and that's not really the start that Titusville would want. Terry, you just mentioned it.
Special teams.
You don't want to give the Hustlers offense a really good field position to start this drive.
Yeah, and the Hustlers like, we'll definitely take it. You mean I don't have to take the ball and run and I don't get hit and we get extra yards?
Yep.
Sign me up any day.
So mark that down as really the ball went out of bounds about the 10-yard line, so give them automatically a 25-yard return with not having to run the ball at all.
I like those odds.
Oh, yeah. So the offense for MCC will take the field. It's going to be number 2, Sebastian Troyan at quarterback for the Hustlers. He's going to hand it off.
And you can see, Zane, when the running back was running, the cleats, a lot of the dirt's already been kicking up in the air, you know. So like I told you before, this field is wet. So that's going to play a big, huge role in tonight's game.
And that was Howard DeWitt on the carry. We're going to see a big load from him as well. DeWitt has really been all over the field running. He's going to run the ball primarily, but you'll see him used in the pass game as well.
Yeah. And we can't forget about the little league. They do go all out for breast cancer as well.
They do.
Thanks, Ms. Felix, for reminding us on that.
Pass complete. And good yardage after the catch. Good effort for a first down. That is number 8 for the Hustlers. That is Lucas Hamilton on the reception. He's going to pick up a first down. And, Terry, that's exactly what you need for your sophomore quarterback coming into an environment like this. Just get him a couple throws early, get his rhythm and his nerves to calm down a little bit, especially you're playing a front in Titusville that's nasty.
Yeah, and we call those the confidence catches. You know, anytime you see your receiver catch the ball and get extra yards, that's a bonus for the quarterback. They're like, yeah, keep doing it, keep doing it. So I know he's excited about seeing that.
Handoff right up the middle, and that is a great stop. That's number 51 for the Titusville Terriers on the stop. That is Jacob Holloway.
Yeah,
Big-time play.
Oh, Jacob was on there. He lost his helmet, and he came straight over to the side, but he definitely disrupted that run play. It's almost like he knew where the running back was going on that play.
So a 2nd and 11 for the Hustlers. Pistol formation. It's going to be a rollout from Troyan. He's going to throw it, and it's going to be incomplete. I don't know if that was a little bit of a miscommunication there about what route the receiver was running. It looked like he wanted his receiver to come back Yeah, it looked like the receiver was probably running out.
Yeah, you left the quarterback was on an island all by himself. He
was.
turned around and he was like, "Oh my God!" And all he saw was those terriers face all them dogs barking at him the entire time.
And that's what I mentioned is you're going to have 2, 3, maybe even 4 terriers on that line chasing you, especially on big downs like this. So 3rd and 11 for the Hustlers. Troyan steps back. It's going to be a little screen. DeWitt has it. He makes a move, and wow, he's going to make a good enough effort. I believe he's right at the first down line.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to give it to him, but if not, he's close. And if it's inches, if I'm the coach, I'm going for it.
Where you're at, the analytics would say go for it.
Yeah.
I know last week I was saying analytics are going to say go for it every single time, but this one it's true, Terry.
Yeah.
It's going to say go for it.
Yeah, you got to go to the sideline and tell your team, look, we need all the big heavies to go up there and push. We understand that Titusville have a big defensive line, but we need inches, not feet.
Honestly, if I'm MCC, I'm running it right behind big number 70. That's Javion Cooper, the Syracuse commit, on that offensive line for the Hustlers. And they're going to hand it right up the middle, and that's going to be enough for the first down. Wow, the spot that they marked him actually was a little bit shorter than where he got to, but they do give him the first down. That was number 4 for the Hustlers. That is Antonio Hunter that took the handoff, and he picks up the first down. So the drive will continue for the Hustlers. It's going on 3 minutes, 9-minute mark of this first quarter. And that's another thing, too, that we didn't mention, Terry, sustaining drives. You don't need to make this a 1-2 play, 3 touchdown drive. Sustain some drives, take some time off that clock.
Yeah, definitely. But I want to see you work these corners, too. Give these corners some love, too.
Yep. Handoff to DeWitt right up the middle. He's going to get about a yard. It's going to be hard to run up the middle. I mean, you look at that MCC offensive line, they got some boys on there, but that tenacious defensive line from Titusville, they're not going to allow you to run up the middle.
Yeah, you're right about that. So this is where a play will come into action, too, because if you look at it, they have the middle that's wide open because both safeties in the back, they're looking to hit the corners. They're not looking to hit the middle. So you can see right now that the safety's moving around. They're both kind of shuffling. You got that single safety. The middle will be wide open if they can hit it.
Yep. So trips at the top of your screen. Troyan's going to hand it off. DeWitt has the outside. He's got some room to run. He's going to scoot up to about the 26-yard line, but we have a flag on the play. And they're throwing out the pink flag. That's pretty cool as well, too.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. I guess they're on par with everybody else.
Yeah. So it's going to come back. It is a hold on the offense.
And that's unfortunate too, Zane, because that was a pretty decent run.
It was.
And if you can win those things, you gotta realize, okay, well, we're not going to run the ball up the middle against these big heavies. But they've had some success running in on the outside.
Yes, indeed, they have. And on a 2nd and 9 run that you can pick up, really 12 yards, is about 12, 13 yards is what he got. That's exactly the type of momentum runs that you need. But, Terry, I noticed something right there. He ran it outside.
Yeah.
And I really feel like that's where they have to attack.
Yeah, and that's what you're going to have to do because you're not going to run it up the middle. Like you mentioned before, Titusville have some big terriers up front.
They do. They definitely do. In the shotgun, Troyan takes the snap. He's going to roll out. He's going to throw it, and it is caught.
And, you know, one of the things that I've noticed with Titusville is that the quarterback, even though he's a sophomore, he looks poised back there.
He does.
And it's not rushed. He goes over to the sideline, get the play from his coach, and he's gotten in full command. And kudos to his offensive lineman for keeping him upright.
Right.
We thought that was going to be a big issue for him tonight's game, but his offensive line has been doing a tremendous job keeping him upright.
I agree. Completion there to Colton Brown puts the Hustlers right back to where they were. So it'll be 3rd and 9 from about the 40-yard line. Got to dial up a pretty good play right here because you're not in field goal range yet. Not even if you get 6-7 yards. Troyan takes the snap. It's going to be a throw. It's Noah Flores. Makes one guy miss, but then gets tackled at the 35-yard line. Tank Harvey in there for the tackle.
They better thank Tank for making that stop, because otherwise that young man would have been running to Mims right now.
He was. I saw the open field for him. One wiggle and he would have been gone.
Yeah.
4th and 5. Offense is going to stay on the field. I think it's a good decision right here. Your offense has really been able to move the ball quite well.
Yeah, and this will be a good opportunity to kind of throw them offside. Their team is aggressive. Titusville is aggressive. You could do we have a flag.
It's either an offsides or a false start. And yes, indeed, Terry called it.
I'm telling you, I've seen it.
Offsides.
Those are some of the things that if you have a 4th and 5, this will be a good opportunity to draw the defense offsides, and they did exactly that. So good job on the Hustlers for hustling them out of that 4th down and 5.
Automatic first down for the Hustlers. That'll set the ball on the 30-yard line, and we are now going to have an official's timeout with 6:08 left in the first quarter. This is still the first drive of the game, and we're already at the 6-minute mark. That's really the time of possession that MCC needs. They need to be able to possess and make drives last. You don't want to get all the way down the field, take 7.5 minutes off the clock, but not put any points on the board. So really, this is an important drive to not just get down the field and take time off the clock, but you really need to put some points on the board.
You have to, because Titusville is going to come out swinging on offense.
Oh, yeah.
And so you're going to have to – and I like how they're controlling the pace. It's like a cruise control, right? Yeah, we steady as she go, as we say in the Navy, steady as she go.
Yep.
And that's exactly what MCC is doing, and steady as she go.
So the Hustlers will take over 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line as they inch their way down the field. Clock ticking at the 6-minute mark. Troyan takes the snap. He's going to look long, and he's got a man, and it is caught for a touchdown. That is number 7, Grady Bonenberger. What a throw there from Troyan.
I'm telling you, this young man looked poised. He said, I'm a sophomore, but I'm playing like a senior today. But you know what? What a tremendous opportunity for this young man to come on and play on homecoming against another team on their homecoming and get the first strike.
Yep.
This shows that if you're MCC, you have to be excited, because you know you have another quarterback for 2 years.
Yep.
And he's showing you that, hey, I don't get rattled. I'm not flustered. I know we had a couple penalties here and there, but we're scoring, and steady as she go.
Extra point is up and good. Terry, you take over 6 minutes off the clock and you put on a touchdown. I don't think that Coach Tillman on that side for MCC could be any happier with that first drive.
Yeah, and that's their bread and butter play. You could tell that they're going to go after that play, because they're exposing the secondary for Titusville. And they say, look, we think we got something here. So this is a great opportunity for them to see that, and they're going to go back and do that again.
Absolutely. So the touchdown goes to Grady Bonenberger for the Hustlers. Once again, thank you all. If you are just tuning in, this is the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily. Terry Spain, Zane Garcia from Al Wernicke Field, home of the Titusville Terriers. 5:53 left in this first quarter and a touchdown on the board for the Hustlers. Terry, they couldn't have asked for a better drive.
Yeah, and it took a lot of time off the clock. And like I said, they're just cruise controlling, and they're controlling the cruise.
So the Hustlers will now kick off. Ball is going to be taken right about the 25-yard line. Ball carrier makes one man miss and then tackled.
That's a great effort. You know, I talked about special teams. You know, it would have been easy for MCC to say, yeah, we scored a touchdown here, but they don't make up for it on special teams. But this, you know, when you score a touchdown, that becomes contagious.
Yep.
So it spills off on every facet of the game. And special teams, it was a good collective effort by MCC on that tackle.
Absolutely. So now it'll be Titusville's turn to take the field. Titusville's offense is led by quarterback Bill Billingsley, transfer from East River. And there was, actually, I didn't even see a flag thrown, but apparently there was a flag thrown in that play.
Where?
On the field somewhere. But a flag brings the Titusville offense back. They're going to be starting at their own 13-yard line.
Wow. And
So,
for those that don't know, that haven't watched us or listened to us before, sometimes when there's a flag on the field, we would say there's a flag.
Where?
On the field. So to give you guys a heads up on that.
Billingsley rolls out. It's going to be a throw to his tight end, and that's going to be a nice gain on first down. That's number 14, Brian Billingsley, his brother, on the reception.
Well, you know, they probably practiced that all night and say, look, hey, the first pass is going to you, brother. So you better catch it and don't disappoint me because everybody, the whole entire family's watching tonight.
In the shotgun is Billingsley. It's going to be a run right up the middle, and it's going to be a first down. That's Kamari Jackson on the run for the Terriers and gives them a first down on about a gain of 5.
These are all positive yards, too. If you're Titusville, you'll live with that. You know, you're getting 5 yards here, you're getting 9, 8 yards there.
Yep.
So those are all positive yards. And if you're Titusville, you don't have to play fast just because the team scored on you first.
Right.
Play your game and stay true to what your game plan was, and it'll all work out.
Exactly. Another handoff to Kamari Jackson. He has the outside, and that's going to be another first down, gain of 10.
I tell you what, that young man's going to have himself a night if he's running like that all night. Good job on his offensive line because they pushed everybody. I think they even pushed us up here in the booth here, Zane.
Great effort right there by the offensive line, but Kamari Jackson takes it down the right sideline, able to pick up 10. So now ticking right under the 5-minute mark. Titusville has it at their 35-yard line. And
there's a flag.
Where?
On the field.
Big time stop right there by number 13 for the Hustlers.
And that flag came out real fast, and there's been a lot of flags already. So I know these referees, they're going to do a good job at cornhole tonight because they got their form already.
So Carmelo Williams in there on the tackle, diving in there from his defensive back spot, but it's going to be a hold. So they're going to move him back anyway. Move it back to the 25-yard line and redo it 1st and 20.
And you don't have to get it all in one drive. You know, you can get 10 yards here, 8 yards there, as long as it's positive yards. I wouldn't be surprised if they run it in here, but they do have a lot of wide receivers, and it's a mismatch if they can expose it on the corners.
Yep. Trips at the bottom of the screen. There's going to be a nice underneath screen play. It's going to go to Tank Harvey. He's going to pick up right about 18, 19 yards. So, Terry, we already mentioned Harvey's name on defense, but he's even a bigger threat on offense. So,
yeah, I tell you what, that young man, when he turned them afterburners on, there's nobody catching him.
Absolutely not.
And his name is Tank. It's kind of hard to tackle a Tank.
Oh, yeah. So, Tank Harvey right there, gain of 19 on the tunnel screen, able to get loose for a second. It's going to be a keeper by Billingsley, and he's able to get loose, and that's going to be a first down on a gain of 6. And I like how both teams are moving the ball right now. We saw MCC, it was a little bit more conventional. It was just toss it here, toss it there, run plays here and there. Titusville, they're mixing it up a little bit. There's a read option that we just saw, keeper by the quarterback. We already saw the tunnel screen. So both offenses are trying to throw different type of punches. You see one side wants to just throw the haymaker, and the other side's like, hey, we'll throw the rip shot.
Finesse shots.
Oh, yeah. Billingsley steps back. He's got a receiver. It is caught, and that is number 23 for Titusville. That is Andre Anderson. He was able to get loose for a couple, about 5-6 yards, and that's staying on schedule.
Yeah, and with Anderson, you would like to see him turn up the ball up the field instead of running, east and west, So if he would have went straight up with that, he probably would have got a first down on that play.
Now at the 3-minute mark for the first quarter. The offenses have been able to move the ball, though.
Yeah, both offense. So that if you're looking for an offensive game, you have it tonight.
And there's some open field, and that's going to be a nice gain of about 17 right there. That's number 1. That's Kamari Jackson, the running back. Just a little swing pass, Terry.
Yeah, did I tell you this young man is going to have himself a night tonight? I can see it. You could tell in the bounce that he has in his step. He's probably going to have well over 100 yards tonight.
I think it's the name of the game that you get the ball to your playmakers, but you get them in open field so where they can make some guys miss, and that's exactly what they did there.
Yes.
Handoff to Kamari Jackson. He's going to wiggle and get to the first down marker. It's going to be another first down, gain of 12 by Kamari Jackson.
I guess we're going to have to get used to saying his name all night. I hope you're ready.
By the time that the game's over, I'll be knowing Kamari Jackson and probably have his autograph at the end of the game if he keeps on playing like this.
Tell me about it.
So Titusville's moving down the field quite well, taken down to the 2-minute mark here left in the first quarter, but Titusville sitting right outside the Mike Erdman red zone. Handoff is going to go up the middle, and that is a nice form tackle right there. That's Carmelo Williams coming back from the DB spot, and he's able to dive in there. He's made a couple of nice tackles, Terry.
I think that was everybody that tackled him on that play.
Yeah.
But this is what I would like to see if I'm Titusville. A double move right here will get them in the end zone.
I agree.
And I don't know if they're going to try to expose that, but there's an opportunity for both receivers on both sides to do a double move and be in the end zone.
Yeah, they're playing off of Tank. If you get that double move on the outside, it could be a score. Nice quarterback draw right there, but the defense is all over it.
Yeah, and I don't like that play. It's almost like a cop-out. And you don't want to risk your quarterback's health. I mean, we already said that the field conditions are still a little wet.
Right.
A slip, a twist of an ankle, that would definitely do it. But you don't want to risk your quarterback, especially because your quarterback is playing really well so far. So go out there and let him hand the ball off or throw the ball.
Absolutely.
But having him run the ball, this is the reason why you have a Tank and you got Jackson back there. Let them do all the heavy lifting.
No, I agree, and I think that this is the part of the field that and that's intercepted. Wow, I was just about to say this is the part of the field where you don't want to make a mistake. So you don't want a quarterback running it and potentially fumbling, but you also don't want your quarterback throwing an interception.
But one of the things is I think everybody in the stands knew that he was throwing to that guy. Yep. And this is what happens when you just kind of telegraph a pass like that. You have to do better than that as the quarterback. You're the leader of this team. You didn't help your wide receiver out at all, and now you giving MCC that momentum. And now they're going to finesse you down the field. They're going to do whatever they took for them to score before. You do not want to get down 14-0 homecoming on your home field.
Absolutely not. So Will Warren for the Hustlers with the big interception gives MCC the ball back, and they'll take over again. Howard DeWitt runs up the middle for about 2.
And Howard DeWitt, he's running hard and angry, And so I don't know if somebody made him mad or talks tough to him over on social media, but he is running hard tonight.
He is running hard, and that's kind of the mentality that you like to see from your running back, because that type of running style is really contagious to not just the offensive line, but the whole entire offense. Your receivers are going to want to block for you. Your tight ends are going to block a little bit harder. The offensive line is going to block harder. So that type of play style is definitely contagious for the entire offense. As the first quarter has now come to an end, it is MCC 7 and Titusville 0. Once again, thank you all for tuning in to the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily. Terry Spain, Zane Garcia from Al Warneke Field here, home of the Titusville Terriers. This is their homecoming game. This is the game that most teams would, like Terry said, you pick the team that you're probably going to beat and beat them handily. But MCC has come in here with their backup quarterback and been able to handle themselves pretty well in that first quarter.
Yeah, it's just like how a lot of people play these cupcake teams in college football, give them $1 million or so, and beat them.
Yep.
But there has been some surprises. In particular, there was a team this year that has beaten a team that was supposed to be a cupcake for them, and they actually won the game. So you never know. Be careful who you pick, like you mentioned before, to play against on your homecoming night.
Was that game Florida versus USF?
No, it wasn't. But since you mentioned it, I'm not going to kick you when you're down, man.
So the MCC offense will be going now south towards the scoreboard as we start the second quarter. It's a play-action pass. Troyan looking deep, throws it out, and that's a smart decision right there by the sophomore quarterback. You see all your receivers are covered. Chuck it out of bounds.
Yeah, live to fight another day. I mean, and I think Titusville quarterback's going to have to take a page out of that book as well.
He will, definitely. So that's going to set up about a 3rd and 7 for this Hustlers offense. And Titusville needs a big stop right here because you force them to punt after giving the ball away. You're going to get pretty good field position. And I think that this is a momentum play right here.
Yeah, and they're probably going to do something safe. They're not going to be too strenuous.
Troyan throws the screen. He has DeWitt. DeWitt makes a man miss, and he's going to pick up about 15 and get a first down. That is a smart play right there, and Terry, you called it. They're not going to do nothing too crazy, but the defense didn't read the screen, and DeWitt took 15 yards out of the book.
I think we're going to have to change DeWitt names to Do It because he's doing it all tonight. He's running the ball. He's catching the ball. Do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, thank you all for tuning in to the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily. MCC in Titusville from Al Warneke Field.
Yeah, put in the chat where you're watching us from. If you got a player that's out there playing, put their name out here so we can mention them. We definitely like to support our athletes and our band and cheerleaders.
Empty backfield throw to the sideline is incomplete. Intended receiver was number 7, Grady Bonenberger, who caught the touchdown. Martell, you did say that. You did say watch out for Howard DeWitt.
Well, he's doing it.
Yeah. Howard doing it at this point. Howard DeWitt, Noah Flores, those are some of the guys that are going to be really the players to stop if you're Titusville. But the quarterback, Troyan, has handled himself pretty well so far. Got trips at the top of your screen. Troyan's going to roll right, throw it. He throws it into coverage, but it's caught. And a swarm of Terriers are in on the tackle. He's going to pick up a nice gain of about 8 to make it a more about 2nd and medium.
Yeah, but these are all positive yards. You know, most of the time when you're on first down, you're living with 5 yards. But when you can get 8, the playbook's open to anything.
Howard hasn't done nothing crazy yet, but he's picked up some big gains. Any run possible for extra yards, he's been able to get the extra yards. He's caught screen passes and really put some yards on the offense. Noah Flores makes a couple guys miss. He's bouncing off defenders. My goodness.
Yeah, he's shifty, man. You know, my back was hurting watching this young man twist and turn. He's shifty, though.
He just slipped away from about 3 or 4 tacklers, but really he didn't have many people blocking for him, so No gain on the play. It's going to set up about a 3rd and 6 for the MCC offense.
You see Titusville subbing big for big.
Oh, yeah.
Or big for bigger.
Troyan takes the snap, rolls back, and he's going to do the smart thing and run and go get some yards, and he's going to pick up the first down on a scamper for about 10. That'll move the chains.
I absolutely love how this young man is playing tonight. You know, he's not intimidated. He's not making bonehead mistakes out there. And that was a good play on his behalf because he was looking for his receivers.
Yep.
But they wasn't open. There was good coverage downfield. So he just took the ball and ran and got his team a first down, and now they're driving. And the momentum has definitely shifted to MCC. Like I mentioned before, momentum doesn't wear a jersey, but you can tell what side of the sideline is standing on.
Yep, absolutely. Martell says, who scored? It was Grady Bonenberger from Troyan on about a 30-yard pass in the first quarter. MCC started out this game with an over 6-minute drive. For anyone that's just tuning in, it was about a 6-minute 15 drive down the field. They marched down the field, and it was about a 25, 30-yard pass from Sebastian Troyan, the sophomore quarterback of the Hustlers, to Grady Bonenberger. And Bonenberger, you're going to see him make some plays. He's one of those guys that can really fit the mold of a tight end or a wide receiver based on his length. So, 2nd and 9 for MCC. In the pistol, Troyan rolls out, looking right. He's looking deep and nearly intercepted. Intended receiver was number 0. That is Noah Flores. So Flores, the intended receiver there, he threw it into a lot of traffic. That would have been a miraculous throw and catch because that window was probably as big as the window that we're looking through to broadcast this game right now. So
yeah, and that was probably his worst throw of the night too. You know, so I know he's thinking like, "Woo, I'm glad nobody really intercepted that one because I wanted that one back."
Absolutely. So 3rd and 9 for the Hustlers. 8:23 left in the second quarter. Still in that pistol formation is MCC. Troyan rolls back, throws it over the middle, and it's going to be incomplete. That was number 31 for the Terriers. That was Braden Priest on the pressure, able to affect that pass. And MCC is going to have to send the special teams unit out and punt this one away. We saw them go for a 4th and 5 and draw them off sides on that first drive, but where you're at, I don't think that's really possible. I don't think the Titusville defense is really going to fall for that on this go-round, but they absolutely want to pin Titusville deep. So I think it's a good idea right here to punt it away.
Yeah, smart move. You're down. You're up 7-0. You don't have to do anything.
And what a nice coffin kick right there. That'll plant the Terriers offense at about, I want to say it's going to end up at about the 12-yard line. Actually, I'm sorry, I was inside the 10, so that puts him at the 8-yard line. What a coffin kick right there for the MCC punter.
Like I mentioned before, Zane, all these things have to show up in order for you to beat Titusville tonight, and special teams was one of the things that I circled, as you can recall.
It is indeed, and right now the special teams has been good. You make your extra point, you punt it away, you pin them deep. And this is not field position that Titusville would like to start out with, but you got to work with what you got. So Bill Billingsley, Tank Harvey, and the offense will go back on the field. And That's just a snap right there to Tank Harvey. And it doesn't really do much. I think the defense, they saw Harvey back there, and they're like, okay, we know exactly what he's going to do. He's not really going to throw the ball, so we're just going to sit there and be ready for him, and they were. Harvey's able to get about 2 on that gain, but defense was ready.
Excellent job by the defense. They were definitely ready, and they stacked the box because they saw that. They were not going to get fooled on that play.
Billingsley back in there from the shotgun, takes a snap. He throws it out to the left, and a nice tackle right there. That is Carmelo Williams once again. We've called his name a couple of times. Williams is what they would call, Terry, a headhunter.
Yeah, he definitely is. And you know what? That was a proper tackle.
It was.
Most people would have shaken that tackle off, but he was not letting go. He had that vice grips on.
So Billingsley swings it out to his brother Brian, and unable to get anything on that one. So that'll make it 3rd and 9. And this isn't exactly staying on schedule if you're Titusville. You want to be able to get at least 3 or 4 yards on first down to make it a more manageable 3rd down for you. But the throw down the middle is a little bit too long. Wow, that was number 23. That was Andrew Anderson streaking down the middle, and he had room.
I tell you what, if that young man would have caught that, you would have caught him. You'd have found him in Jacksonville in a few minutes because he was moving. It's kind of hard to overthrow a person with that much speed, and I know the quarterback is kicking himself because he wanted that one back. That young man was wide open.
He was. So Anderson had some room down the middle, but unable to connect. Billingsley throws him just about 2 or 3 yards.
If that. And if you're MCC, you got to be excited because that play stops the clock.
It does.
But not only that, I mean, you're going to get good field position here. It's a good bounce, but you'll get good field position here. You on their side of the 50.
Yep.
And you go out here and score again. You don't have to do anything too over the top because once again you're up 7-0. No one really gave you a shot of winning this game, but if you can come out here and steal another touchdown from here, you're playing with house money.
Right. Absolutely. So 6:25 left on the clock in the second quarter. 7-0 still. MCC leading as they take over at the 48-yard line on the Terrier side of the field. So like you mentioned, Terry, great field position to start out if you are the Hustlers offense.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I know the Hustlers they are really, really excited about how this game has turned out for them tonight.
So after that little break of the change of possessions, the referees say, "Hey, go take another break. go get some more water." So we're gonna have an officials timeout at the 6:24 mark.
But if you're MCC, you're excited about that extra break because now you can go and draw up the next 3 plays. And try to move the ball down and get another touchdown. So back-to-back timeouts, I'll take it.
Absolutely. Which I am a little bit confused. It was 6:25 on the clock, and now it's 6:24. The ball had not been snapped yet. So I don't know. Clock situation, the clock should not have moved at all right there. Not too sure if somebody's finger slipped.
Hey. Stranger things have happened.
Stranger things have happened. So offense and defense will now take the field. This is the 3rd offensive possession for the Hustlers. Back in that pistol formation is the offense. Troyan takes the snap. It's going to be a reverse. Flores on the right side is going to throw it downfield.
I saw it.
And my, oh my, what a trick play, Terry.
Zane, I saw it when the safeties and the cornerbacks were looking in the backfield and forgot all about. And the funny thing about it, he had 2 players that were wide open. You could have taken your pick and found out which one you wanted to throw to. But quite honestly, what an offensive play.
Yeah, what an exceptional play right there. It was a reverse to Noah Flores, and he's so dangerous with the ball in his hands. You think that he's going to run that ball upfield. So the defense, they collapsed. But guess what? It was Mr. Antonio Hunter that was on that backside wide open.
Wide open. And you know what? And you can see the players for Titusville with their heads hanging down. But if you're the coach, you're going to have to let them know that, look, we're only down, should be 14 points now. We're only down 14 points. We're not out of this. But I'll tell you what, it's not looking pretty if you're a Titusville Terror right now.
Well, I think for the Titusville offense, they got to get back to the basics. You got Tank Harvey back there. You have Kamari Jackson. Smash mouth football. Run the ball. You know, if you have the opportunity to go play action because they're stacking the box, do it. But get back to what you've been doing. You know, Kamari Jackson's run the ball really, really well, and so has Tank Harvey.
Yeah, and Titusville needs a spark. One big play would turn this game right around, but Titusville needs a spark. If they could get a big play action, and not be so rudimental, they would definitely be able to get back in this game. But they need a spark, and they need one now, because if they go 3 and out here again, MCC is like, look, we're not going to hold any pity on. We understand that it's your homecoming, but we're going to go ahead and ruin your homecoming tonight.
Well, if you can guess it, this MCC offense is probably more confident than ever right now. And Titusville, they have a good defense. They do. I think it's going to be that cat and mouse game. You got to be able to stop the players before they make the big play. So it'll be interesting to see how this Titusville offense responds. 6:12 left in the second quarter as the Hustlers kick it off. Ball goes deep.
He's got room if you want it.
He does. He has room on that backside. And gets all the way up to the 35, but there is a flag on the field, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it definitely will be. You know, talk about a momentum killer. You know, especially if this is on Titusville, you know, you have positive feel from the special teams, and if this goes back, that's a momentum killer.
Yeah, we are having minor connectivity issues. Terriers offense takes over.
Yeah, and they're going to have to get that spark, you know. I know they really love to run the ball. You don't want to shy away from that as well, so you can kind of mix it up. But you see how easy MCC was able to do a couple of trick plays. You're going to have to do the exact same thing if you're Titusville.
Absolutely. So a little bit of pre-play activity, and it is an offside on MCC, and the free 5 yards is –
they'll take it.
yeah, it's going to be delighted by the Terriers.
First down 5 to the 25.
So move the ball up 5 yards and do it over again.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Titusville run the ball here because you already got a free 5 yards, and you're probably going to get 5 yards off that initial run.
Yep.
But they have to open it up a little bit too.
Throw outside, caught by Harvey.
What a long developing play. Like, when you see a play like that, Zane, you don't throw it to the outside receiver that far because that ball hung up there for a long time. It gave MCC an opportunity to tie their shoe, hit the player, and do whatever else they needed to do.
Absolutely.
So if you don't want to just continue to run those side-by-side plays because you're going to lose yards, throw it down the field.
Yeah, throw it down the field, but if you are going to run that screen because you want to get the ball to Harvey in the open field, you do that little tunnel screen you did on the first drive that opened it up. And, I mean, Harvey was one broken tackle away from taking it all the way to the house.
Yes, indeed.
So it's going to be a run right up the middle. Defense swarms.
How disciplined, man. If you look at it, MCC, I'm really impressed not only with their offense, but their defense is really disciplined. Every time they tackle a player, it's more than one person tackling the player, and that's what you love to see.
Yep. So we're ticking down right under the 5-minute mark here in quarter number 2. MCC is up 14-0. Titusville trying to put together a pretty decent drive and get back in this game. Billingsley takes the snap. It's going to be a handoff. Kamari Jackson has some room, and he's going to pick up a first down. So solid run there for a gain of about 6-7 yards, and that'll reset the chains.
Yeah, and MCC is going to have to pick up the pace a little bit. I know you don't want to pick it up to the point that you make a costly mistake, but you would like to see them pick up the pace just a little bit longer. Faster, I should say.
I agree, and honestly, if I'm Titusville right here, I kicked off first. So you look at the time, you got 4 minutes. I'm doing a 4-minute drive right here, score, and then get the ball to start the second half. It's going to be a throw outside to Brian Billingsley. He makes a man miss and treks forward for about 8 yards.
And just as we kind of hype MCC for their tackling, one of the guys missed an ultimate tackle. You know, it was almost like the guy hit the L2 button on Madden because he was able to get an extra 7 or 8 yards on that play.
So 2nd and about 2. Handoff up the middle, Kamari. And Jackson will scamper for about 6 or 7, and that'll move the chains once again. Terry, I said this is kind of what they got to do. They got to run the ball, defense collapses, and then you throw it over the top.
You hit him for the big one.
Make the defense stop your run. You have Kamari Jackson, you have Tank Harvey. Run the ball, make them commit to it, and then go over the top.
Yeah, and one of the things that I noticed is that MCC is not really fully committing to the run. They're still preparing for the pass as well.
Absolutely. So screen goes outside, and that'll pick up about 5 yards. That's number 3, Zymerius Brown on the reception. You'll see him playing both sides of the ball too, wide receiver and defensive back. Talk to that young man in the offseason, and I could just tell, especially by his mentality, that not only does he have knowledge of the game, but he plays with a fierceness that really is exuberating to the entire offense. He will do whatever the coach needs. He will do whatever the offense is asking or the defense is asking for him. So that's one player that you want to get involved in. We had a penalty on that play. That's a holding call. We'll bring it back, and we'll do it all over again. 1st and 15. Billingsley rolls back, and the throw does not get there. It's incomplete. He threw that one off of his back foot. It was intended for Anderson, unable to get it to him.
He didn't look comfortable at all, but I mean, he had a whole swarm of hustlers coming at them as well. So, you know, you're going to have to give him some more help, but you're going to have to give him these plays that he'll be able to hit his receiver immediately and not have to wait for these long developing routes.
Oh, Martell said Dion. Yeah, my apologies. That was Dion Bland on the reception. My apologies. Throw outside to Anderson. And another great tackle right there. Anderson able to take it for about 2, maybe 3. So that sets up a 3rd and 14 right now for the offense with 2 minutes left in this quarter. Terry, do you try to get the whole thing right here, or are you thinking, you know, it's no man's land, let's just try to at least get 10 to 12?
If you can get 10 to 12, you can go for it. But if it's 4th and 9, you might as well go ahead and punt it.
Billingsley has Brian Billingsley over the middle, and he's going to run out of bounds about the 46-yard line. That'll make it 4th down and 7.
And he took a hit by Will Warren.
He did take a hit.
And Will Warren got up like he was the Hulk after he hit him. I was like, geez.
So Titusville is going to have to punt this away. That's going to be a timeout by MCC. Smart timeout. You want to save a little bit of time for your offense. If they can move the ball down the field within the next 98 seconds, they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Once again, thank you all for tuning in to the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily. Terry Spain, Zane Garcia here from Al Warnicki Field, home of the Titusville Terriers. It is homecoming night, so we'll be showing the homecoming ceremony presentation. Big opportunity right here for MCC to score another one before halftime. And conversely, Titusville needs to stop this offense from gaining any more momentum. Takes a nice Terrier bounce, and that'll be down right about the 14-yard line. So 86 yards in 88 seconds. I'm going to look at some scores around the county. O'Galley is up over Trinity Catholic all the way out in Ocala, 22-0. Cocoa in Miami Norland is still 0-0. Mandarin at Rockledge up 14-0. And really, that's a tough one for Rockledge. They've had a daunting schedule this year. Mandarin comes in from Jacksonville, and that's a really good football team.
Yeah, they're definitely a good football team, and they knew it was going to be a tall task, but
Yep.
it's not over.
So the throw is incomplete on first down. He was looking for Bonenberger right there on the bottom of your screen, incomplete. Clock will stop on the incomplete pass. Minute 23 left. MCC offense is trying to work the ball down the field and try to put up more points within the last seconds of this first half. Titusville really needs a stop right here. And if you can even force a turnover, that would be huge. Trips at the bottom of your, top of your screen. DeWitt up the middle for about 2. So with that run, that kind of tells me they're going to look to make it a little bit conservative. It's like we're going to have a timeout. Titusville sets it up for a 3rd and 8. Titusville says, hey, we'll take the timeout. You're not going to get the first down right here. Now we're going to try to give our offense an opportunity to go and score.
Yeah, and that's a really good timeout because you're going to have to give some type of spark. If you can get a stop here, you're going to get good field position. You might get it right after 50. It depends on the kick. And you can go down here and score. I know it's easier said than done, but this is still a lot of football in this quarter, and some minute and some change left. But that's still a lot of football. One play will get you down to a score or what have you. So they're going to have to do something. They're going to have to find something either on defense or special teams in order to ignite this offense.
Absolutely. Plenty of time on the clock to ignite the offense. If you score right here, Titusville will get the ball to start the second half. That's going to be a massive 14-point swing if you're able to score. If you're Titusville, if you get the ball back in enough time. So interesting play right here. 3rd and 8 for the Hustlers.
This is probably the quietest homecoming I've ever been a part of.
Snap goes to Troy, and it's going to be a reverse. Noah Flores has room on this left side, but it's going to be coming back. He gained about 30 yards, but it's going to come back because of a hold.
Wow, but I'll be honest with you. This young man has some wheels, Zane.
He does indeed.
And it's unfortunate that this call is coming back because he worked a lot. And, you know, when you have that opportunity to kind of put a team down a little bit, almost that knockout blow, that would have been the knockout blow in the first half if they were able to keep this being a positive possession.
Absolutely. So that stops the clock right at a minute. So 60 seconds left on the clock, and they'll do that 3rd down all over again, but this time from even further back. And where you're at on the field here, I think you gotta got to be a little bit smart right here. You don't want any mistakes, no turnovers, no anything like that. So it's going to be a handoff to DeWitt. He's going to go up the middle and pick up right about 5-6 yards. And that'll be another timeout for Titusville as they will stop the clock with 43 seconds left.
Yeah, and good job by Titusville for tackling them, and a good job by the coach for calling a timeout immediately because you still have 43 seconds left on the clock. They can either go for a block punt or they can just, let the special teams just go ahead and cook, and hopefully they can get a good return.
That's kind of what you're hoping for, at least, is take the timeouts, give it enough time that if your guy gets a good return, maybe you have 2 or 3 shots at the end zone. I mean, if you throw an interception, you want to throw it at the last seconds of the half or the last seconds of the game because it's like, hey, it doesn't really matter.
No harm,
too
no
much.
foul.
Exactly. So this is probably the time that Titusville will be taking some shots at the end zone.
Yeah, I would definitely try to block this kick here this punt if I was Titusville.
43 seconds left in this half. If you are just joining us, MCC leads 14-0 over the Terriers. And we're going to have a timeout from MCC now.
And that's smart because they were trying to see what Titusville was going to do with the punt, and if are they going to be safe, are they going to do it for a punt block?
Right.
So they got their look, but I wouldn't be surprised if Titusville changed the look here and actually put in for this punt block.
I wouldn't be surprised either, and really you have 2 options. You either go after the punt or you try to get so many guys back to set up a big return for your guy, but if I'm Titusville right now, they're already backed up. They're at the 16-yard line. I'm going after it. You have an opportunity. You block that punt. You don't know where it's going to ricochet. You could be picking up the ball and walking into the end zone.
It will be a game changer if that happens. And you talked about special teams, but Titusville's going to have to play like they want it, though.
Yep.
They've been looking like they've been getting beat down the entire game. And MCC has definitely been giving them everything they got, but they're going to have to find that spark.
Absolutely. So it looks like Titusville is going to actually play it safe right now. Oh, wow. The punt, or the snap, was a little bit fumbled, and that's going to be a terrible punt.
Yeah, he did what he could do with the circumstance that he was dealt with. And so if you're Titusville, you're looking like, that's a win. That's a victory right there.
He did what he could, but I know for a fact that ball went right off the right side of his foot, and it just went straight right. So Titusville, those timeouts turned out to be a good idea because now they're set up on the 30-yard line with still 34 seconds left, and I believe they still have one more timeout.
Yeah, but you're going to have to throw it here. There's no room for running it. You're going to have to throw it, and if you can utilize the sidelines, that would be great. Absolutely.
So Titusville's offense will take the field at the 30-yard line. And really, I think if you're the Terriers, at the minimum, you're thinking a field goal.
Yeah, you're thinking a field goal, but they have that one-on-one coverage down below, and I know the quarterback has to see that.
Yep, it's going to be a trick play. Billingsley goes deep, and that's going to be a pass interference in the end zone. So that's intended for Dion Bland, and that'll set them up right about the 10-yard line.
And see, this is what I was talking about. You get something like that to kind of spark this. I mean, it was a little trickery. They got a little cute on the play.
Yep.
But I like it, because they're going to have to do something to throw this team off kill because MCC's been having their number the entire night.
Absolutely. So that only took 7 seconds off the clock, but guess what? You moved 15 yards.
Yeah, and I think Titusville's taking a playbook out of a couple of plays out of the playbook of MCC. They said anything you can do, I can do better. You know, so it was good to see that both teams are opening up the playbook. But if you're Titusville, you kind of had to open up the playbook. It can't be your typical let's run the ball. We're going to have to throw it.
Absolutely. So from the 15-yard line, Billingsley has an empty set. steps back. It's going to be a throw over to Dion Bland. And he's going to move up to, it looked like he was down, but they're going to say that's a fumble, and it is MCC said they had it, but referees are going to say that the runner was down, which I thought he was down too. And we don't have replay in high school, so
we definitely
it's hard.
don't. Something to think about, though.
Yeah, definitely is. So Titusville will take their final timeout. 15 seconds left on this clock, and they're down to the 6-7 yard line right here. Honestly, I know it sounds a little risky, but I think you go that tunnel screen to Tank Harvey.
I don't like the tunnel screen right here because that takes up too much of the time. You're going to have to throw it down. So whatever your best play downfield, you're going to have to do it. You only need, 5 or 6 yards to get in the end zone. And I also wouldn't be surprised to see the quarterback run this in as well. I mean, he hasn't did a good job of running today, but nobody's expecting the quarterback to run. But I would definitely – they're going to be one-on-one coverage. I would definitely put it in the hands of my best player on the team. That tunnel screen, that could be a bit dangerous because if you get blown up right there at the line of scrimmage, then you're wasting a lot of time.
I think that the defense is going to be expecting maybe a fade to the corner of the end zone, which Tank is one of those guys. You can throw a 50-50 ball to him, and you could do the same to Dion Bland, but I like the trickery of catching the defense off guard possibly.
This is also a play, Zane, where the running back get lost in the shuffle.
Billingsley rolls out. He's going to throw it, and it is Harvey. Tank Harvey is going to score the touchdown for the Terriers, and that's the momentum you need.
And this is what I was telling you. You don't want to do that screen here. That wastes so much time off the clock. Throw it down and throw whatever you throw. It has to have been in the end zone.
Yep.
And so good job by the quarterback. Good job by the receiver. It was looking pretty ugly, but now it's 14-7, and you get the ball after the half.
Yep.
You got to be sitting pretty. And this is probably the livest that I've seen this Titusville crowd tonight. You know, and it's good. I thought we were out here commentating and no one was in the stands, but now I've seen people moving around. So there is proof of life.
Absolutely. So with now 13 seconds left in the first half, it is Titusville 7 and MCC still has 14, but that's what you needed. Bill Billingsley rolls out, throws it to Tank Harvey, quarterback to your best player on the team, and did what you have to do and got in the end zone.
And I see teams, in particular coaches, get a little cute and they'll do an onside kick and throw the entire team off, right? I've seen them do that after a score. I don't know what Titusville would do in this instance, but if you really want to throw a team out, you would do that. But I think they're probably just going to punt it down and say, hey, we scored. Let's go ahead and regroup and get together at halftime.
So Titusville will kick it off. And I think they probably go squib right here. You got DeWitt and you got Flores deep for MCC. Those are guys that you do not want to put it in their hands.
At all. Do not kick deep.
So they'll pooch it. And not a bad return. That was number 12 for the Hustlers. That is Carmani Williams on the return. There's 6 seconds left on the clock. Honestly, they're going to be playing probably a prevent defense, not allowing MCC to do anything over the top, but You put the ball in the hands of Noah Flores, great things can happen.
Yeah, but I think if you're MCC here, you just go ahead and just kneel down on the ball and just wait to go into halftime, because anything can happen. You throw the ball out here, they pick it off and they run it back. Now you're down. Now you're tied 14-14. So they'll probably take a knee. I'll be surprised if they get really cute on this possession.
It's just going to be a handoff to DeWitt. Breaks the tackle, gets about 8 yards, and that'll do it for the first half here. Thank you all for tuning into the first half of this one. We're going to have the homecoming ceremony as the band will march out here in just a moment. But, Terry, your thoughts on the first half? I think MCC kind of cemented their offense was able to click, and they cemented that they're here to play. But a great drive right there in that last part of the half by Titusville to get right back in this game.
Yeah, it was a great job by Titusville, because most teams would have just kind of head their head down and say, hey, you know what? We're just going to go into the half and hopefully we can get it together. But Titusville was like, look, enough is enough. We are here. We are at our homecoming.
Yep.
We have to show these fans something. And so great job. But a great job with MCC, because they came in official.
Yep.
It was serious business from the beginning. And you still have to be kind of excited if you're MCC to still be up 14-7. But you got to be mindful, because I know that because Titusville get the ball at the half, they're going to come out swinging. So you're going to have to be ready for that if you're MCC.
So first quarter action was about a 6-minute, 15-second drive by MCC. They got down the field, and it was about a 25, 30-yard pass from Sebastian Troyan to Grady Bonenberger for the touchdown. And a couple drives later, it was MCC on a trick play. They actually ran really it looked like it's supposed to be a sweep to Noah Flores, but Noah Flores goes deep to Antonio Hunter for a long touchdown, probably nearly over 50 yards. And that's how they get their 14 points. And then, as you all who are watching just saw, it was Bill Billingsley to Tank Harvey for a 6-yard touchdown, and that makes the game 14-7. So, once again, thank you all for tuning in to the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily. Terry Spain, Zane Garcia here from Titusville High School. As the band does their thing, we will take a short break, and we will be back in a moment.
gentlemen, we can begin with our freshman representatives. Our Miss Aurora Melton and Mr. Chase Morrison. Aurora is the daughter of Joshua and Crystal Melton. She is one of the captains of the Titusville High School JV cheerleading squad. Aurora wants to attend the University of North Carolina and dreams of becoming a cosmetologist and professional dancer. In her spare time, Aurora loves to spend time with family and friends. Chase is the son of Royce and Don Morrison. He is 14 years old and enjoys reading, writing, and trying new things. Chase is a favorite at Titusville High School and a member of the Terrier Student Government Association. Chase was born in Cocoa Beach and loves to travel to the northern portions of the United States. Chase is grateful for this opportunity to serve on the 2025 Titusville High School Homecoming Court. Our sophomore representatives are Miss Kaylee Ariola and Mr. David Sanders. Kaylee is the daughter of Chelsea Reese and Andrew Ariola. Kaylee is a varsity cheerleader and officially a member of the track team. Kaylee has plans to attend the University of Miami to earn her CSN to become a medical statistician. In Kaylee's spare time, you can find her adventure with family and friends. Chuvegas is the son of Mary Stark Chuvegas and is a member of the Best Buddies and THS varsity football team. Chuvegas plans on playing college football and majoring in business. Chuvegas dreams of becoming a professional football player in the future. In his spare time, you can find Chuvegas playing other sports or working out. Our junior class representatives are Miss Tori Triola and Mr. Bill Jefferson. Tori is the daughter of Mike and Kathy Triola. She has an older brother, Paul, who is a senior at THS. Tori's been a member of the THS cheer team for 3 years with the last 2 on varsity. And is also dedicated 10 years to competitive cheer. She is also an active member of the National Honor Society and SGA. Following high school, she plans to complete her AA degree at the FSC and pursue a career in the field of radiology. Outside of school and cheering, she enjoys volunteering at the SPCA, coaching fundamental cheer, and spending time with her family and friends. She would like to thank them for always being there for her and supporting her. Bill is the son of Damian Jefferson and Alton Jefferson Johnson. Bill is a member of the varsity Titusville High School football team and a member of THS Buddies Book Club. Bill plans to attend college at the University of Florida in Gainesville to get a degree as a restorative nursing assistant, and one day he dreams of becoming a certified registered nurse and anesthetist. In Bill's free time, he can find him hanging out with his brother Cody James. Our Best Buddies representatives are Miss Karen Rowley and Bob Corrida and Daniel Esprino. And Mr. Gabriel and Jesus and Miss Hannah Phelps and Mr. Amari Jenkins Oliver. Carolyn is a very sweet soul, smiling and waving at anyone she can. Her laughter is one of her most prized assets, and she makes sure to sing and dance to cheer people up. She's very difficult to anger and always cheerful. That is what makes Carolyn. Gabriel is the son of Stacy and Jesus. Gabriel is a member of the Best Buddies Club. He enjoys dancing and attending funny events in his free time. Gabriel plans on attending the Blast program after graduating. Hannah is the daughter of Ernest Hansel. Hannah is on the JV cheerleading squad and a member of the Best Buddies Club. Hannah enjoys dancing and hanging out with her friends in her free time. Hannah wants to become the Best Buddies ambassador. Mario is the brother of Elaine Jenkins. Mario is the athletic director of the Best Buddies Club. Mario enjoys playing basketball and hanging out with friends in his free time. After high school, he wants to attend the Blast program so he can get a job in sports. Our first senior representatives are Ms. Avery Cook and Mr. Eli Russell. Avery is the daughter of John and Jennifer Cook. She has 2 sisters, Megan and Brian, and as a middle child, she believes she gets no attention, even though it's not true. Avery is the senior class president and member of both National Honor Society and First Priority. Avery enjoys serving at the church and going on mission trips. Actually, after graduation, everything else will be pursuing a degree in elementary education. In her free time, she invites Avery spending time with friends or on the beach. Eli is the son of Mary and Vicky Russell. Eli is a member of the National Honor Society and plays for the Honor Soccer and football team. Eli plans to finish his AA and EFSC before transferring elsewhere to obtain a degree in business. In his spare time, he can find Jamari plans to attend college at Florida A&M University and major in nursing with a minor in psychology. Jamari dreams of becoming a hospital nurse and wants to become a travel nurse in the future. In her spare time, anytime Jamari at the beach or anywhere with water. Jamari, son of Marilyn Glenn, has been a dedicated member of the varsity football team all 4 years. He's a linebacker and safety. He also competes in track and field, especially in the long jump and high jump. As a public school, Jamari has shown both leadership and commitment. After high school, he plans to attend college to continue playing football or pursue a trade school to focus on welding. Looking ahead, Jamari dreams of running for president in 15 years with the goal of becoming the youngest president in the United States. Our next representatives are Brianna Williams and Miss Trevor Terry Sound is a big part of Lee's life. She plays the flute, violin, piano, and multiple ensembles. This year, she is also one of your drum majors. Marie plans on attending Florida State University and majoring in both film performance and commercial music, with a minor in business. In addition to her musical life, she always loves to swimming in the pool. She is a lifeguard and conductor of the Ontario swim team. Whether on stage or the water, you can always count on her to right your day. Cooper is a proud member of Titusville Terrier. She's a strong member of the Terrier community inside and outside the classroom. From being a state-ranked varsity diver and wrestler, to his involvement in chorus and theater, and private serving as the vice president of Terrier Council and the Student Association. All of the long hours spent on the campus of THS, Cooper has grown to have a tremendous pride in being a Terrier. He is very grateful for the opportunity to have such an amazing group of teachers and staff that believe in him. Cooper would like to thank the students for voting for him and thank his parents for getting him this far. The next senior representatives are Mr. Jordan Clean and Mr. Eric Eccles. Jordan Triumphs and Obvious honor to represent the senior class on this year's homecoming court. A dedicated student leader, she serves as drum major in the marching band and is a good athlete, playing soccer for 2 years and softball for 4. Jordan is also an active member of the National Honor Society along with other organizations and has completed over 200 leadership in college and college. Well, graduating 1 year from the she currently maintains a 3.2 Charlie enjoys saxophone, reading, and singing music. After graduation, she plans to pursue a PhD in either neuroscience or astrophysics while also studying music theory as a minor. Charlie is grateful for his support of her family and friends, and looks forward to the exciting journey ahead. Eric is a son of Eric Sr., a dedicated and hardworking individual. He is actively involved in both school and NROTC. Eric plans to pursue a career in the military after graduation with a strong sense of duty and commitment to service. Outside of his academic and extracurricular activities, Eric enjoys spending his free time fishing, finding relaxation, and playing spot water. Our final winner seniors are Miss Sanyoja Hiro and Mr. Lottie Dios. Sanyoja is a daughter of Jeff Teresa Nakamura. Sanyoja is a member of the track and field team at Titusville High School. She plans on joining the United States Air Force while also getting to school to pursue a career in education. In her free time, she enjoys hanging out with her favorite cousin on occasion. Lottie is grateful for having the opportunity to be on the homecoming court with my brother Robert Blackboard. Lottie plays varsity football for THS and is also career in Senator Sound. Lottie plays football across and pursuing a degree in the medical field. Returning this year to win our homecoming king and queen are the 2024 homecoming king and queen, Mr. Amari Albert and Miss Maribel James. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Titusville High School's homecoming court for 2025. And now, drum roll, please. This year's Ritz and Princess are this Annabelle Phelps and Mr. Amari Jenkins Oliver. like to thank the following for their time and efforts in making Titusville High's homecoming a success. This is Day Luis. This is S. Jones. This is Heather Cook. This is Christopher. This is Coach Dutchman. This is Gesso. This is Rios. This is Jennifer Cook. And the Bar Terriers. And all of the MSGA for their hard work. We'd also like to thank Ian Schwed and Jennifer Zahn and all the service members for a job well done. Also, we'd like to thank the officers and members of the NJROTC unit for their services. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, please help us give a huge round of applause to Ms. Gonzalez and the administrative team here at Titusville High School. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This concludes Homecoming 2025.
Welcome back to the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily. Terry Spain, Zane Garcia here from Al Warnicki Field, home of the Terriers. Second half getting ready to start in just a moment. Terry, that first half we saw a little bit of everything. We saw MCC really show that they can move the ball and move the ball well in that first drive, taking off nearly 6.5 minutes off of the clock and going down there and scoring a touchdown. But then we also saw Titusville's defense able to step up in a big moment, and then their offense able to answer.
Yeah, we definitely saw that, and we saw a couple of trick plays as well. But then we saw how poised the quarterback was for MCC. You know,
Absolutely.
He didn't get a lot of run, obviously, because they have a standout quarterback who's hurt. But he came in and he demanded the huddle, he demanded the field, and his players, responded to him. But then you saw a bend don't break defense, like you mentioned before. Even though Titusville's down 14-7, they were able to sneak a score before the half,
Right.
And they got to be very excited about what's to happen in the second half because they get the ball at the opening kickoff.
Absolutely. So you just saw tonight is the homecoming game for the Titusville Terriers. I want to say a little special congratulations to everybody that made the homecoming court, and then, of course, the homecoming king and queen. Me personally, Terry, I wasn't cool enough to be named homecoming king.
You wasn't.
I was just, the ones that was rooting the people on. But regardless, it is a great honor for the high school students to see, one of their fellow mates being the homecoming king and the homecoming queen.
Yeah, that's always a good thing. These young men and women would never forget that. It's such a a great time. Even 20, 30 years from now, they'll always have
yeah.
with them. Hey, I was homecoming queen or king in 2025, 2026.
Yep.
So
I think one of the big things for Titusville, especially in this second half, is look at what you did in that last drive that was so successful. You ran the ball heavy with Kamari Jackson, and then you diced it up a little bit with some throws down the field. So I think that was efficient, not only for the run game to get going, but to also kind of get the defense on its heels.
yeah, you definitely got to do that. And this punt's it's out of bounds, so that's going to be very fortunate for for Titusville. But one of the things you definitely have to do is most of the time the players are not as loose coming out of the half, right? So I wouldn't be surprised to see Titusville just kind of run the ball, because they definitely have great running backs. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just run the ball for the first two plays and then kind of throw it down.
Absolutely. So with the kickoff going out of bounds, that's going to start. Actually, we're going to move the kickoff back, and I believe they're going to do it all over again. Yeah, they elect to re-kick. So actually not a bad idea, because now you're moving, instead of the kickoff being normally from the 40, they're going to be moving it, I believe, back to the 30. They should be moving it 10 yards back. Oh, they only move it 5 yards back. Oh, I guess I was incorrect on that. I believe they moved it 10 yards back, but I guess it's 5 yards back. But that's Coach Matt Diesel saying right there, hey, we want a return. We want to have our specialty guys touching it. So the kickoff will be redone. Kickoff goes deep. Anderson on the return. He's going to take it down the left field sideline. He cuts up, and he's got some room. So
it works out in Titusville's favor.
It does.
So good job on the coach for declining that, because a lot of people probably would have just accepted the penalty. But great job.
Yeah, I mean, you get your guy another opportunity to return the kickoff, and to their credit, they moved it up 5 yards further than where they originally would have been at. So not a bad decision right there. And the Terriers offense will take over now from their 40. Bunch formation in the shotguns, Billingsley. Takes the snap. It's going to be a pitch outright. Kamari Jackson. And that's going to be about a 6-yard gain on first down. Terry, that's kind of staying on schedule. That's actually further than on schedule.
Yeah, and like I mentioned before, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball maybe the first two possessions to kind of, loosen things up, and then go ahead and go out for a nice, good throw and play. But you still have the playbook open, because now with that run, that kind of opens you up to kind of anything.
Yep.
But you definitely want to protect the football if you're the quarterback.
Absolutely. I mean, if you have an opportunity, in my opinion, if you have an opportunity to get six yards, you're blocking well, you're running well, do it every time. And they do it again. Kamari Jackson busts out right. He's got room to run down that right sideline. And he's just tripped out of bounds. But there you go. The run game working for Titusville. Kamari Jackson takes it down that right sideline for about a gain of 25.
Yeah, just like I said, Zane, I knew they were going to run the ball, because when you're coming out the half, you don't feel as loose as, you're not as loose as you should be. And so great job on Titusville for keep running the ball and staying true to who they are, and believing in their running back. Jackson, I told you, this young man is going to have himself a night.
Absolutely. So good run there by Kamari Jackson. Takes it up the middle, but what vision to go outside, and he picked up 25 right there. Handoff once again, Kamari Jackson picks up 7.
And I know we crowned a homecoming queen here for Titusville, but Mr. Jackson said, I don't want to be the king, but I'll take the MVP of the game, because that's what he's aiming for, because this young man's picking up positive yards every possession. Anytime you give him the ball, he's looking to make positive yards, and he's been doing that all night.
Absolutely. Good run there by Jackson once again. Billingsley hands it off. Jackson, right side. He's going to have the first down. That's going to be a gain of 6-7 again. First down for the Terriers as they move inside the 10-yard line.
And you would think that MCC would kind of figure that, hey, okay, they're complacent with running the ball, but they should be putting an extra man in the box to try to stop that. But Titusville's pushing, they're driving, and those big heavies up front are moving that defensive line for MCC.
They are moving. I mean, I'll tell you right now, Jackson, what has impressed me the most is his vision. A lot of vision to take the handoff up the middle, but you see a hole or you see a room to bounce it outside, and you do it. Dion Bland takes the screen. He'll pick up about 2. That was there was some room to run there, but it closed quickly. It looked like the defense was ready for a screen.
Yeah, they definitely was ready for that because they know that's one of Titusville's bread and butter.
Yep.
So they're going to be used to that and be ready for that play at all times.
Fans are cheering for a Titusville touchdown right here to knot the game up at 14. It's going to be a keeper by Billingsley. He has room on that left side, but it closes quickly. And it was a good decision to keep it because your running back would have got blown up right there.
And I was going to say the exact same thing, Zane. It was a great job on the quarterback for recognizing that play wasn't going to go for anything. Even though it didn't go for much for him running the ball, but it saved them more yards than what they wouldn't have got.
I agree. So that'll set up about a 3rd and 2. And as Terry likes to say, they're going to bring the big heavies in there.
You have to.
And it looks like they're almost setting up for a tush push. But it's going to be Tank Harvey. He's going to take the handoff, or a direct snap, excuse me, and he's going to go right up the middle. That is a touchdown. Tank Harvey.
Hey, it's hard to stop a tank. He was really like a tank in the streets of just bulldozing everything. And I don't think nobody touched him. I think no one still haven't touched him except his players.
I mean, right there, Tank Harvey looked like R.J. Harvey, former UCF Knights running back, because that was some power and some vision to find the hole and get through there. So the touchdown will make it a 14-13 game with the point after looming. But with 9:06 left, we are now tied up at 14. And I want to bring this all the way back to the end of that first half.
Yeah.
Titusville had an opportunity to get the ball back. They stopped MCC after MCC had the ball in really their own 10 to 15-yard line. Not really great field position. Smart decision by Matt Diesel to take those timeouts, and then boom, now your offense has a chance to score. And what did I say? I said a 14-point swing, and there it is.
And there it is. You definitely call that. And you know what? You have to be excited if you're Titusville, and the fans are excited, because – I tell you what, the first quarter of the game, it didn't look too good for Titusville, but a good job for them responding. These young men know what's on the line. They know another win will definitely help them out in the district. So kudos to them for staying true to who they are, and they got to carry that over in special teams and in defense as well. But if you're MCC, you can't just be getting caught watching the scoreboard. At one time, you were up 14-0. Now you look up, it's 14-14. You still have to play football, and you're going to have to stay true to your game plan in order for you to be successful and win this game tonight.
It's going to be a little pooch kick, and it's going to be fair caught. Good decision right there. I don't think that kick was – it was supposed to be a pooch kick, but I think he was supposed to pooch it a little bit further than that because that's going to set up the MCC offense, I believe, at around the 35-yard line. They'll set it up at the 32, so not a bad idea to pooch it, but you wanted to pooch it a little bit further than that.
Yeah, and I'm quite sure the special team or the head coach is telling the kicker, like, hey, kick it a little farther than that. You're giving them excellent field position.
Trips at the bottom of your screen, empty set. It's going to be a direct snap. Noah Flores tries to make a cut and get upfield, but gets about 2 or 3 before Terriers are all over him.
Yeah, I mean, what a great defensive play by the Titusville Terriers, because they've seen these plays before.
Yep.
They've gotten caught looking in the backfield, and they've been beaten deep. But it's a good job for them to stay true with the runner, because if they hadn't, I think Flores probably would have still been running the Mims, maybe Daytona, Volusia County, Duval, or whatever. So good job with them at having a group tackling and a collective effort.
So it's going to be Flores again by himself in the pocket. Looks to throw, but is going to take off now. Makes one guy miss, but doesn't get much. So now you're set up with a 3rd and 7, and frankly, I think the Terrier defense is starting to settle in.
They sure are. And one thing that you have to be with MCC is that those plays were definitely one-dimensional. The entire team, everybody in the crowd knew that Flores was going to run the ball.
Yep.
You're going to have to shake it up a little bit. Stay true to who you are, because that's what got you here, these 14 points. Now they're trying to add a little wrinkle to their game that has not been working. You got 3 yards off of those for 2 plays, and that's not a good sign.
Yeah, I believe you got to get Sebastian Troyan rolling out again. So Troyan steps back. It's going to be a swing over to DeWitt. He has to get through 3 Terriers, and he does not. So about a gain of a yard, but that's going to set up 4th and 6. And MCC is going to have to punt away. The analytics would say absolutely not.
Oh, yeah, definitely punt this here. But you know what? You have to be definitely excited if you're Titusville, because now they want to score.
Yep.
You know, they smell blood. That momentum is starting to shift. It's pulling back over to the home field, home team. And I'll tell you what, if Titusville scores here, it's going to be a long night for MCC.
It is going to be, and I think you got to just do a little bit of the same thing you did on that last drive. You feed Kamari Jackson, get it to Tank Harvey, and just run it down their throat. I mean, they weren't able to stop Jackson at all, as he had probably nearly 50, 60 yards on that series alone, and then Tank Harvey does the rest with about a 5-yard touchdown off of the direct snap. So a great drive to start the second half for Titusville. They have the momentum now. So 6:37 left in this third quarter. We're knotted up at 14 right now. Titusville has the ball, and they have an opportunity to take their first lead of the game.
Yeah, MCC is about to get a heavy dose of this run, because they saw something, and they're going to strike while the iron's hot.
Yep.
And I would too. You know, you don't really have to pass the ball as much, because your running game has been pretty good, and they ran down fairly easy on their last possession that they had, which they scored a touchdown on.
Absolutely. Jackson's in the backfield with Billingsley. Billingsley hands it off. Jackson right at the middle, room to run. And he's going to scamper for about 11. And my goodness, you know it's a beautiful run when your running back is into the second and third level and your offensive linemen are right with him. Like, the offensive linemen are running with Jackson and saying, hey, we're going to get you as many yards as we can.
I tell you what, those offensive linemen are in shape, and that's a good thing. That's showing that they are in tip-top shape and they're ready for the playoffs.
Jackson's slow to get up right there.
That is not what you want to see if you're
at
Titusville.
all. I would imagine it could be a cramp.
He's not putting any weight on that leg, so I'm hoping that it is just a cramp, because he's definitely one of your workhorses, your bell cows.
Yep.
And you don't want to lose a young man like that. But he's walking a little bit, but it might be I think it's more than just a cramp.
Could be maybe he got his ankle twisted up right there on the tackle. Running backs coach Latavius Murray going to go check on him real quick and say, hey, you're running the ball like that. You know,
You kind of remind me of myself.
he was like, just take a breath real quick and then get back out there. But really, I think that Harvey and Jackson is interchangeable right now. I think you can put Harvey back there and do just as much damage.
There's no drop off really. I think Harvey's is a little bit, it's a little bit bigger, but
Yep.
There's no drop off between these two running backs. That's a luxury to have right there.
It's going to be Dwight Jenkins in the backfield with Billingsley now. It's going to be a keeper by Billingsley. He has some room to run. scoots outside, and he gets bumped out of bounds after a gain of about 7, but
There's a flag
where?
on the field.
Flag on the play. I believe that's going to be a hold, and it is. So
I tell you what, the quarterback ran the ball. That was a long run.
It was.
You know, and so
Yeah.
them linemen and wide receivers like, look, how much time do we have to give you? Because we can't keep these guys off of you. And so they just had to hold them. And now the Titusville Terriers are marching back, and that's not a good sign. You don't definitely want to do that.
So that'll make it 1st and 14. They'll do it over again. Billingsley hands it off. Jenkins has the right side, makes a cut, and takes a big hit, but he'll pick up about 10 yards, and now you're setting up for 2nd and medium.
Yeah, and Jenkins just bounced back up. Like, look, that was a good hit, but I feel good. I'm utilizing all the time I can get when I'm playing in this offense.
And that's a courtesy of how Mr. Jackson's been running the ball tonight. You know, if Kamari Jackson's running the ball like that, everybody wants to run the ball like that.
It's contagious.
Wow. Jackson took the handoff, and maybe that should have been a keeper by the quarterback because big number 75, that was Paul Ostrander for the Hustlers, blew that play up.
Man, Paul, oh my God, I'm still trying to. My head is ringing because it almost kind of remind me of that Davion Clowney hit. You know.
Oh my gosh.
He was definitely on par with that hit.
That play right there, blown up in the backfield, will set up a 3rd and 7. Direct snap, Harvey takes it up the middle. And he's going to be just shy of the 1st down. So you're looking at about a 4th and inches. I think you run the same play over again. They just got 6 yards on 3rd and 7 running a direct snap to Harvey. Do the same thing over again, you're probably going to get the 1st down.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't probably do the direct snap here, even though it looks like that's what they're doing.
It's going to be Harvey, and he will pick it up.
Keep the legs churning, young man. Keep the legs churning. They're still trying to get him down. He's still running.
Wow, he's still loose. My goodness.
That is what you call stick-to-itiveness, Zane. Seeing it through to the end. That's exactly what he did.
That is Tank Harvey right there. Almost called him RJ Harvey because of how hard he's running. My goodness. Elijah Tank Harvey with an exceptional effort right there on what was a 4th and 1.
Look,
to pick up 20.
Bradley tank, Sherman tank, doesn't matter what kind of tank it is. That young man is showing that he can run through any football field, any defense if you give them the opportunity.
So it looks like we have a Terrier down on the field right now. And there was a flag on the play as well. So we're going to see what the refs are calling right here. I mean, it was towards the end of the play, so
probably was a face mask.
Yeah, you can imagine it's a face mask or maybe an unnecessary roughness. Not sure exactly what it was, but we're about to find out.
And that's one of their big heavies that was hurt. So I'm glad to see that he's up, but he's still not putting any pressure on that.
Yeah, that's
on that leg.
Number 50, Landon Edens, who needs some help off of the field. Glad to hear that the crowd gave him a round of applause for getting off the field, and hopefully it's not too serious. We don't like to see any injuries. And wow, I'm not exactly sure what the penalty was.
But they're marching back.
Yeah, they're marching it back, and it looks like they're marking it as a 1st down. So I'm assuming the penalty was after the play.
Personal foul, maybe.
And so it will be a 1st down, but Titusville is not gonna move forward. They're gonna move backwards, just fresh set of downs. So you don't want any penalties like that, but I guess the benefit is you did get the 1st down.
Yeah, that's definitely a benefit, but you want the yards as well.
Absolutely. 14-14 game here from Al Warnke Field, home of the Titusville Terriers. Terry Spain, Zane Garcia of the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily. 4:16 left in the third quarter. Once again, thank you all for tuning in. We've had a great game so far, and this was one of those games that Terry and I talked about earlier in the week that, man, we're excited for this one because not only are both these teams looking for a win and it's the homecoming game, but these are two teams that don't often play each other. These aren't teams that see each other every year. So it's a game that you like to watch.
Yeah, and like I mentioned before, the last time these two teams did play, Titusville won 59-3.
My
That's
goodness.
a lot of points.
Wow. Titusville trying to hype up their crowd right now. It's the best time to do it. It's going to be a pitch outside. Jackson back in the game. He picks up 7.
Jackson said, hey, you remember me? I'm back. I knew he wasn't going to stay out long. He looks like he was trying to lobby for the coach to let him come back into the game. So good job. They wanted to make sure that he was checked out really well. They didn't want to make sure he didn't have any lingering injuries. But he looks on that run. He looks like he's all set and ready to go. Good job.
Some people would probably say, I know Jackson from the Jackson 5. He said, no, I'm Jackson the 1. I'm number 1, and I am the 1. And he's been running it well tonight. It's a handoff to Jackson right up the middle. He's going to scoot up for a first down. And it's got to be an adjustment by that MCC defense. It's hard when they're running the wall so well to really collapse, because then you're like, well, okay, if we collapse, then they're going to throw it over the top. No, just put 8 people in the box and say, hey, we need you to beat us through the air, because right now Jackson is really tormenting the defense.
Yeah, he definitely is, and he wants more.
Yep.
He's trying to score and get a touchdown. Like I said, this young man's having himself a night already.
Jackson busted outside. There's going to be a flag. That's going to be a hold. Honestly, if I'm MCC, I'm glad it's a hold, because you need any advantage you can get right now, because Jackson's getting 6-7 yards a clip. That'll move the offense back 10 yards, but you can't really complain too much. They're having a lot of success running the ball, and it's just like you said, the stick-to-itiveness.
Yeah.
Stick to that run game.
Yeah, I'll see it through to the end.
Dwight Jenkins checks back into the game.
It's good because you got to keep your running backs fresh, too.
Absolutely. It's going to be a swing pass to Jenkins. He has some room to run on this left side, and he's going to get knocked out of bounds, but not after getting back to the line of scrimmage. That was Noah Flores in there on the tackle. Which, if you're going to do those swing passes, the most important part of the swing passes is blocking downfield, and to his credit, the wide receivers did a great job right there of giving him some room to run.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt that you're fast, because he has some wheels too. So that was actually a good job for him, getting every yard he can get on that play.
No doubt. So interesting look right here for the Terriers, and there's going to be a timeout MCC. They saw that formation and they said, hey, something's not right.
It doesn't look right. We didn't see this on the game film.
There is a THS class having a reunion. It is here in the stands somewhere. Can someone from that reunion class come to the booth, please?
Now at the 2:34 mark of this third quarter. And I really think that this is a needed timeout, not only because the formation, but you got to imagine those MCC guys are tired over there. The Titusville guys are saying, hey, we're running, we're a train, and we're not trying to stop. And MCC's over there probably huffing and puffing saying, look, if you guys can just throw a pass, make it incomplete, We'll take a couple seconds to catch our breath, and then we'll be right back.
And that's why I tell you it was important for Titusville to rotate those running backs out as well.
Yep.
If you can rotate 3 running backs out, the defense is not rotating anybody. Of course, you're going to have to take a time out here. Didn't matter what the formation looked like. MCC was tired, and good job on the coach for recognizing that.
Most definitely. So same interesting formation from Titusville. It's screaming a trick play, but we'll see what they do with it. Man in motion is Harvey. It's going to be a tunnel screen up the middle. Anderson catches it. And that was a pretty interesting formation because you put the attention to Harvey, which granted he respects that attention, and you slip it underneath to Antonio Anderson, and he's able to pick up a pretty decent gain.
Yeah, that was a good play call all around, and a good. And I'm glad he caught it because if this young man would have dropped it, he would have never heard the end of that.
Check that, Andrew Anderson. I said Antonio, but no, I agree. That was a setup that needed to go the way it did. Harvey takes the direct snap up the middle. He's going to pick up the first down on about a gain of 4. Wow, we're going to have some extracurricular going on now. And we have an MCC player going over to the Titusville sideline.
Yeah, you don't see that too often. And I'm really surprised that none of his teammates grabbed that young man and said, hey, the game is bigger than you, so you couldn't afford to get this penalty. You would hate to see that. Somebody should have grabbed him on the sideline. If I was the coach, I would pull him out to kind of calm him down a little bit.
That was Carmani Williams that walked over to the Titusville sideline. And you see he got right in Coach Murray's face. And I don't know, we obviously up here we can't hear what the words are exchanged, but you can imagine it's probably not pretty. But he just cost his team 15 yards for the after play curricular. So now Titusville's, they're threatening. They're inside the 15.
And this is what I was talking about, Zane. Like, the game is bigger than you. And for you to cost your team 15 yards, and if they have an opportunity to come down here and score, you're going to have to circle that play if they don't score another point.
So now inside the 15, 13-yard line, Billingsley is in the shotgun. Hands it off to Jackson, right up the middle. Bounces off a defender, gets down to about the 5-yard line. My goodness, he runs it hard.
He runs it hard, and he's a little small, but I tell you what, whatever he makes up for it in size, he's making up for it with heart. And so
Absolutely.
He was determined, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them give him the ball again because he's probably over there telling the quarterback, like, hey, look, I'm good. I want the ball. Feed me, Seymour.
Yep.
And we want to thank everybody for watching again. There's a lot of people that are watching this game. David Coleman, thank you for watching. Alex Goen. There's a lot of people that are supporting these young men tonight, so thank you.
Oh, bad snap. And it is recovered by Billingsley, but that had to be a little bit of a communication right there between center and quarterback. I don't think he was ready for that snap, and center just hiked it.
Yeah, the quarterback was definitely not ready for that, and that's unfortunate. But now you just don't get bogged down with that play. You go back out there and still kind of execute. You have playmakers on the field. Give the balls to the playmakers like you've been doing all night, and let them make it happen.
Yeah, you don't want to panic in this moment. It is third, and it's going to be about 3rd and 15, but with the momentum that they already have going, I don't know. I feel like this is an opportunity to really throw the ball down the field, and that'll do it for the third quarter. Titusville side and MCC side going to hold up the 4s. Fourth quarter football tied at 14-14.
If you would have told me that at the first quarter when Titusville was losing 14-0, I don't know if I would have believed you, Zane, but, man, Titusville is driving. You don't want to get too cute here. One of the things, if you're Titusville, you are in field goal range. So you got to remind your quarterback that, hey, you're in field goal range. Don't throw it just to throw it and try to make a play. The game could come down to 7 points, 3 points, or whatever. But you don't want to be the person or the reason why your team lost tonight.
I think the biggest question for Titusville right now is, can you finish the game off? We've seen it a couple of times this season. Obviously, that first game of the year, they lose in overtime to Heritage. The game against Spruce Creek, they had a lead, and Spruce Creek was able to outlast them. And then the game even a week ago, people look at the score 27-14, that loss to O'Galley. But if you were there and you watched the game and you look at the game, Titusville gave themselves a shot and just could not make the plays when it mattered most. O'Galley made some crucial plays that really gave them the win. And you had to kind of feel like, dang, like, not again. And I think that this is a moment right now where Titusville's probably saying, no, it's not going to happen again. 12 minutes, going to get this done right now. And it's about finishing. It's about finishing football games.
Right, and Titusville owe it to these fans that are out here. It's homecoming.
Yep.
These fans are out here. They owe it to them to not to do anything crazy, but go out here and score a touchdown and play great defense.
Billingsley rolls out. He's throwing it to the end zone, and nearly a one-handed catch by Tank Harvey.
I promise you, if he would have caught that, I would have walked home tonight.
I can tell you right now, I'm not walking home because I live all the way out in Melbourne. So
well, I don't live too far, Zane, but I still would have walked home if that young man would have caught that pass.
What a great attempt right there by Harvey to pull that down with one hand. And honestly, if Harvey pulls that down, I still think the best catch of the year that we've seen has to be Captain Roll's over the back catch against Rockledge. But honestly, that would have topped it if he would have made that catch. Now field goal unit's on. The field goal is up, and it is going to be short.
That didn't stand a chance at all. And it got me to wonder if the kicker didn't feel or look comfortable at all.
No.
He didn't put a lot of it. If that's the best that he can do, then I don't want to take anything away from him for that. But you have to kick the ball a little bit better than that because points matter, and particularly in a game like this when you're tied 14-14, you're going to wonder, hey, what if we would have scored this field goal and we'd have been up 17-14? So if you're Titusville, you don't want to hold your head down. You know, MCC is definitely they're excited that they didn't score any points on them, but they definitely going to have to. When I say they, I mean Titusville defense is definitely going to have to get a turnover. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to be more aggressive and get a turnover on this possession.
Troyan takes the snap, throws it over the middle, caught, and that's going to be a first down. Catch right there, that was number 6. That is Colton Brown for the Hustlers. So Hustlers have a chance to kind of quiet this crowd that's come alive over the past couple of quarters as Titusville has tied this game up at 14. And this is a big drive, I would say, for both sides, but more importantly for MCC because you kind of have your back against the wall now.
Yeah.
Trips at the bottom of your screen. It's going to be a slingshot pass, and that was behind the intended receiver. It was intended for, that was number 8. That is Grady. No, excuse me. That was Lucas Hamilton. My apologies.
That was a dangerous pass, too. The quarterback's going to have to realize you don't have to make big plays all in one, but if you're going to throw the ball, you're going to have to throw the ball with accuracy.
Right.
And I understand that he's a sophomore and he's not used to playing, but you got to do better than that.
Handoff goes to DeWitt. He's going to pick up about 2. And now that'll set up a 3rd and 8. And this is what the Terriers defense lives for right now. They love the long 3rd downs because they can just get after it.
Yeah, they definitely do. And they had a player that was shaking up on Titusville. He's getting off on his own wheel, which is good. But look, once again, replacing one big with a bigger person.
Oh, yeah.
Titusville have some big guys up front, And I wouldn't be surprised to see them put a little heat to him on this possession because it's third down.
That was Jacob Holloway that was shaken up on that last play for Titusville. Looked like it appeared to be a cramp, so he should be probably back in after drinking a little bit of pickle juice.
Did they have it on the sideline? That's old school there, Zane.
Oh, yeah. Chips at the bottom of the screen. Troyan, it's going to be a screen. Flores catches it, and no room to run. Titusville defense covers it beautifully.
Yeah, he actually lost yards on that play, too. And like I tell you, I don't really love that play because you see it's either a hit or miss, and that was definitely a miss. I mean, and then when you do that, it's a safe play, yeah, if you don't want to prevent any turnovers, but it doesn't do anything for you here. And if you're Titusville, you got to be overjoyed and say that was the play that you call. Thank you. We'll take it.
Well, Titusville, they're seeing that formation, and I feel like with the formation, they know what's coming now because they've run that play 1, 2, 3 too many times, and it gets redundant, and the defense is sitting there waiting on it. So maybe Noah Flores was able to get loose 1 or 2 times, but the defense is sitting on it now, and it's really up to MCC to adjust those plays and say, hey, the defense got us on that one. Okay, now we're going to throw this at you and see what you can do.
Yeah, and if you're MCC, you don't definitely want to hold your head down, but Titusville needs that spark again. They need that big play that's going to have this entire crowd to erupt. They're going to have to do it on this possession because if they do not, MCC is going to definitely try to just score at will. I know they didn't have the opportunity to score on this last possession, but you can't play this cat and mouse game. You're going to have to put points on the board. And I know they tried to kick the field goal, but you have to do better than that with the field goal as well.
I agree. I think you got to go for 6. So Titusville offense will hand it right off. Kamari Jackson, about 4 yards.
It's kind of a weird handoff exchange, too. The quarterback didn't know if he should keep it or give it to the running back.
Yeah.
That can actually be dangerous, so they're going to have to be mindful of that because if they had one of their linemen or linebacker hit that running back, that was
Ball
a fumble.
was popping out for sure. So we're ticking down under the 9:30 mark. We're at 9:20 left in this ball game and still tied 14-all. Billingsley takes the snap, handoff to Jackson up the middle again. And that's going to be a first down, gain of about 8.
Yeah, I think they're totally complacent with giving the ball to Jackson. At least every time he gets the ball, this young man is making something happen.
Hard running all night long by Jackson.
Definitely 9 minutes. We have roughly about 8 minutes and 59 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
Bust outside by Jackson. Hustlers defense is all over that one.
I think everybody but the kicker tackled him on that possession.
But really, that's kind of what the Hustlers defense needed because, I know for a fact that those defensive linemen are saying, like, gosh, this guy is killing us right now. Can we do something about it? And really, they haven't been able to do anything about it.
Yeah, Zane, you know what? I would love to see Titusville just sling the ball down the field.
Yep.
I would love to see that. They've had a couple opportunities where the quarterback overthrown some of the receivers, but I would love for you to throw that ball down the field.
Handoff up the middle, Jackson. He's going to plow forward for about 6, so that'll set up a third down and medium for the Terriers offense. But I totally agree with you, Terry. And you look on the far side of the screen, you got Deion Bland one-on-one with Noah Flores. Don't get me wrong, Noah Flores is speedy and a great athlete, but he's a smaller guy. Deion Bland probably has at least 3, and that's saying something. He probably has at least 3 or 4 inches on him. I wouldn't be afraid to throw a 50-50 ball right there and give him a shot.
But they're trusting their running back, and it looks like he picked up a first down.
Yep, he did. So it's going to be 4th. Yeah, they're going to call that 4th and inches. And when it's 4th and inches,
you got to go for it.
You already know what you're going to do. It's not the tush push. I believe this is just the Harvey push because Tank Harvey's just going to take the snap. He's going to run right up the middle and get the first down.
Yeah, but if you're MCC, I would stack all the men in the box. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I know they're not going to throw the ball here. So, and that's exactly what they're doing. As you can tell, they're stacking everybody in the box.
4th and inches. Wow. So he did get the first down, but there's a flag on the play, and I believe it's going to be a false start. No, a legal shift. A legal shift on the offense will move it back 5 yards. And now what do you do, Terry?
I think you still go for it. But one thing with Harvey, he did exactly what you wanted him to do, fall forward, and picked up first down. But they're over looking on the sideline, asking the coach what they should do. And the coaches, he looks like he's going to be a gambler. And I think he's going to go ahead and just go for it and trust your defense. I think it would be good if he calls a timeout, but he's probably going to go ahead and put his punt team in here. But they look confused. So in that aspect, you definitely have to call a timeout. But I wouldn't be surprised to have him to go ahead and punt the ball here.
Ticking down to clock is stopped at the moment. We're at the 6:49 mark in this ball game, and really it's now or never time for either side. I mean, it's a knotted game. Both sides need a score. MCC is going to get the ball back here, but Titusville, they absolutely need a boomer of a punt right here.
And he got exactly that.
Yeah, nice punt. Going to be caught at the 25-yard line. It is Flores. He makes one-man, two-man miss, but he cannot go any further than that. And guess who makes the tackle? Kamari Jackson.
Mr. Do It Everything. He's like that Swiss Army knife. You can't. If you said that he didn't show up tonight, I would definitely have to tell you otherwise, because this young man is playing kickoff return. He's playing punt return. He's running back. He's doing it all. So wide receiver. You've seen him do everything. So
there's nothing that I haven't seen tonight from Kamari Jackson. He's done it all. And I'll tell you right now, college coaches are watching this and they're going to say, hey, this kid can not only run the ball hard, but he's willing to do everything that a coach has asked. And really, if you're talking about coaches wanting guys, they want guys that are talented, yes, but they want guys that are coachable. They want guys that are willing and able to do whatever that they ask. And I'll tell you right now, Kamari Jackson has definitely shown that. And we'll be seeing him playing on Saturdays in the near future.
Most definitely.
6:35 left in this ball game. MCC will take over on offense. And right now, Terry, play call-wise, it has not been great lately for MCC. Are you trying to go back onto the ground with DeWitt, or are you thinking down the field maybe to Bonenberger or even to Flores?
Well, you got to see what DeWitt can get you on this first possession, but I think they're going to try to throw this ball and make something happen here.
Troyan steps back. He's going to throw it deep, and it is caught just as Terry dialed it up. And that was something that they needed right there, because I'll tell you right now, that short underneath stuff, it was not really working to their advantage. Titusville's their defense was sitting on that stuff, and now they opened it up a little bit. That's exactly what they would have needed.
And this is what I was telling you that Titusville needed to do.
Yep.
They needed to open it up a little bit, and MCC's gotten the memo. They understood the assignment, and now they can do anything in the playbook. Running the ball here is definitely not out of the question. So they can run it here. They got plenty of time.
Lucas Hamilton with the reception. Troyan throws it again. It's going to be caught. And that'll be about a gain of 4, maybe 5 to that was Grady Bonenberger, who caught the touchdown earlier for the Hustlers on the reception. They're going to give him 5. So now you're set up with second and manageable as the clock ticks down under 6 minutes. And like I said, this is now or never time. MCC has to score right now, because I have a feeling you're going to have a heavy dose of Tank Harvey on this next drive for the Terriers. And Harvey will not be denied.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, though. I saw the kicker for MCC warming up out here. He has a pretty nice leg, so they definitely have that luxury.
Troyan going deep, and it's going to be a pass interference. But sorry to cut you off. To your point, I agree with you. The kicker for MCC, he's got plenty of leg. And if they get into field goal range, which with that 15-yard penalty, they're pretty close to field goal range now.
Yeah.
You get a field goal, then you put the pressure back on to Titusville to make something happen.
Yeah, definitely do. And you got to be excited if you're MCC. You're playing with house money, and they're like, look, hey, we'll take all the penalties we can get right now.
Yep. So that penalty will move the Hustlers' offense up to the 35-yard line. Intended receiver was Noah Flores, and, I mean, that's a guy that sometimes you just got to kind of interfere a little bit. Troyan goes outside, and wow, was that caught?
Good catch. You know what? This young man sacrificed his body and dove for the ball. That's what you like to see, the little things that a lot of these wide receivers are not doing. He just displayed it tonight. And so that was a good job, and he bailed his quarterback out. It wasn't a perfectly thrown ball,
no,
but he bailed his quarterback out because they want to win this game tonight.
They really do, and that was an outstanding dive and catch by Flores. So that'll put the MCC offense at the 25-yard line as we're at the 5-minute mark in this fourth quarter. Titusville looking for a big stand right here. They need a big stop. MCC trying to punch it into the end zone. And right now, Terry, they're in field goal range.
Yeah, they definitely are.
Snap to Troyan. It's going to be an option play. DeWitt has the right side, but as he tries to cut back, he slips and falls. And to Terry's point that he made before the game, the field was pretty wet from all the rain that we've had, and you see that cutback right there. It's still a little bit wet.
And this is why I was telling you, Zane, that a double move here can throw the cornerbacks off. So I wouldn't be surprised. A double move or a slant, that will get you in the end zone right now.
Yep. So that sets up about a 2nd and 9 for the MCC offense. 4:32 left in this ball game. And this has been a great game. I mean, if you like, we have a holding call on the Hustlers that will move them back 10 yards. But all around, if you like a game that's a shootout, cool. If you like a low-scoring game, cool. I feel like this has been a little bit of an in-between. It's only 14-14, so it's not a super high-scoring game, but we've seen some scoring. We've seen some defense. It's been a great game. And as the train rolls through, Troyan's going to throw it to the corner, and it is no way.
He caught that.
They are calling that a catch. My goodness. Grady Bonenberger. My, oh, my. That was over 2 defenders, Terry.
Unbelievable. That's a game changer. You want to go out and make yourself a name for yourself? You go up there and you catch that pass, and that's exactly what he did. Because if I'm not mistaken, that young man already had himself a touchdown already.
Wow.
And he almost had another one.
What a catch right there by Bonenberger for MCC as he catches that in between 2 defenders. And that'll set up the Hustlers offense right at the 1-yard line. Troyan, handoff. Defense is able to stand tall right there.
Definitely have to be a bend don't break type of defense for Titusville, because you gave up a significant amount of yards on that last play, and that was one heck of a catch. He had no chance, no business of catching that pass. But when you have the heart and the determination and you want to bail your quarterback out, that's what you do.
Honestly, I looked at that pass, and I saw 2 defenders there, Terry, and I said, there's no way he's coming up with that ball. That's an interception. And Grady said, thank you.
We'll show you otherwise.
Absolutely. So we're now at the 3:37 mark. Fourth quarter, we have an injured MCC Hustler down on the field. And we'll take the time to take a momentary break. Once again, thank you all for tuning in to the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily. 14-14 ball game with 3:30 left in this match. I'd like to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. All Points, Health First, Eastern Florida State College, Mike Erdman Automotive, Florida Tech, and of course, Auto Expo 95. We'd like to thank our sponsors as always. So the injured Hustler is up on his feet now, and that is a good sign for the MCC faithful. That is number 4, Antonio Hunter. He's had some key runs in this game, especially on short down and distance. He's able to pick up the first down. So this is a key moment right here. It's just like Terry said, it's bend, don't break. Flores is going to take it himself. Lunges for the end zone, and he got in. Touchdown, Hustlers.
I tell you what, if that Flores is playing like his jersey is on fire, because that young man was not going to lose on that play.
No, he was not, and it was really, really close right there, actually, as he went to stretch the ball over the goal line. It looked like Titusville punched it out. But the rule is, as long as the ball is over the line, it's a touchdown.
If he was 1 inch shorter, he wouldn't have gotten it.
No. Oh, wow. That might be huge, as a bad snap by MCC forces Flores to roll out instead of being able to hold it for the kick. So the score stands now 20-14 with 3:18 left in the game. Titusville now has to dial up their best drive of the game.
Yeah, they definitely do. And we talked about the score, and it's not like the last score that when these two teams played 59-3. So we're not getting a blowout here, but we're actually getting a really good treat tonight. And these young men are laying it all out on the line. But for that play, at that particular time, you need those extra points. And so all Titusville has to do now here is score a touchdown, kick an extra points. Easier said than done.
Yeah.
But if you're able to do that, you win the game.
Yeah, this really could go down to that point right there being the difference in this ball game. And it's a game of inches, and it's a game of whoever has the more points. So 21-20 means just as much as 45-0.
It definitely does.
So MCC will kick off. 3:18 left in this ball game. Titusville, it's crunch time. You got to pull out your best runs right here, your best pass plays. And I think we're going to see some runs because they've had success with it. But with the amount of time that there is on the clock, you can imagine that now, finally, the Hustlers will probably put 8-9 people in the box.
Yeah, most definitely. But the thing about it, you still have to feed that tank.
Yeah.
If you have a tank on your team, you got to feed him because that means he's going to knock down everything he can. But you can't be too one-dimensional either if you're going to be Titusville. You're going to have to throw the ball downfield, very similar to what MCC did.
Agreed. So we have a flag. It looks like some MCC. Yep, it looks like the Hustlers. Wow,
They got a little antsy. They was ready to go out and play special teams, but that actually is probably going to work out in Titusville's favor, like very similar to what happened before.
So now they will kick it off once again. At the 3:17 mark in this game. And it's down to this final drive. I don't think that Titusville is going to have any other opportunities than now. So So we have another penalty again. And I believe we're going to do this kickoff for a third time.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Before you know it, looks like MCC is probably going to be at the 10-yard line if they keep kicking at this pace.
So MCC will kick it again.
Students, if you're not called for a ride, call for one.
MCC now going to be kicking off from the 30-yard line. Titusville returners are all the way up at the 20 and the 25-yard line. So they're expecting to get this ball and be able to turn upfield for some big yardage. Kickoff goes deep. It's Anderson, and he muffs it. But he picks it up, tries to break it outside, and he gets picked up. And he wasn't slammed, but there is a flag. And that was actually pretty funny because the flag was thrown before he slammed him, so he just picked him up and then set him down.
Yeah, and
he knew he was in the wrong.
And I was hoping, I was like, please don't slam this young man. You're going to get kicked out of the game for that. But that's positive yards for Titusville. If you need, this is what you're gonna need. You're gonna need positive yards. You're gonna need anything you can to give you that edge, because you have to remember you're only down 6. You're not down 7.
Yep.
Courtesy of the botched punt by MCC. The botched kick, extra point, I should say.
First and 10, Terriers at the 20-yard line.
So it actually looks like they picked up the penalty because he did not slam him. So he already had the flag thrown. I think that he was expecting the slam, and he let him down. He didn't slam him, so no penalty called. Titusville offense will start from the 20.
No harm, no foul, huh?
Exactly. Billingsley, handoff to Jackson. Tries to gain cut up field, but he slips, and it's that part of the field, Terry.
I was going to say that part of the field, you can even tell. I seen chunks of grass coming up from these young men's cleats. So don't run the ball here. Throw the ball, and you have to throw it downfield.
St. Carlos can Mr. Do everything. He was able to fix that pass too. He doesn't want to go home without a 50. Personal foul. Helmet. MCC. Result today. THS. First down.
I apologize in advance for the camera issues. Phone's about to die. Phone's at 2%. I'm trying to make sure that this game doesn't come off. Run up the middle, Jenkins. Another run. Jenkins takes it for another first down. Time is ticking down, but it's at 1:08, and the Terriers are threatening.
Yeah, Jenkins is taking matters in his own hands. He's like, look, I'm going to show you guys how it's done.
Keeper by Billingsley. Runs up the middle. It's to about the 6.
And that was a great job for the quarterback to keep that ball because everybody was focused in on the running back. And for the quarterback to be able to run that was actually a great job. So they're definitely in the red zone here, Zane. But this is when things start to tighten up, so it's going to be very important that Titusville don't turn the ball over here.
52 seconds left in the game. Handoff to Jackson. Gets down to about the 2-yard line. 46 seconds left in this ball game. Time is running.
38 seconds left on the clock.
Titusville does not need to hurry here. And it's going to be a timeout by MCC with 27 seconds left. Ball's at the 2-yard line. You kind of know what's coming. It's tank time.
Could be. I wouldn't be surprised. The quarterback has had some success running the ball when everybody thought it was going to go to their running back. So the quarterback may keep this and score a touchdown here. So again, you have 27 seconds left on the clock. Titusville's at their 2-yard line. You make a touchdown and kick an extra point, game's over.
First and goal for the 2-yard line.
This is for all the marbles for the most part, Zane. You still have a couple of downs left, but if you're Titusville, you definitely want to score here. But if you're MCC, you're going to have this bend, don't break mentality. Give the fans something to cheer about. It's homecoming. It's definitely not a blowout, but it's been one heck of a game.
Bunch formation. Harvey will take the snap. And we are going to have an offsides on MCC. That'll move it just a yard closer. 25 seconds left in this ball game.
Yeah, I think they're going to get a heavy dose of Harvey here. I think that everybody in the stands know what's coming next, Zane.
Absolutely. Harvey And he punches it in for the touchdown with 22 seconds left in this one. We have a 20-20 ball game looming. The extra point. Tank Harvey with the trifecta, 3 touchdowns.
You got to give it to the Tank. I tell you, the Tank runs people over, and that's exactly what he did.
Extra point coming now.
The most important extra point of the game.
Extra point is up, and it is good. So with 22 seconds left in this ball game, with that extra point, Titusville has taken the lead 21-20. My, oh my. The biggest moment of the game right here. 18 seconds left. MCC trying to put a touchdown or at least get in field goal range. Troyan steps up, throws it, and it is caught. Wow.
That was probably that was a really weird play.
It was, but somehow it worked, and
most importantly,
MCC
he got out of bounds.
Up. Yep. Got out of bounds, stopped the clock. 35-yard line for the Hustlers. 12 seconds left, so really, you got to at least get another probably 35, 40 yards right here to get in field goal range.
That's not must have asked, though, is it, Zane? 12 seconds left.
Troyan Throws it. It's caught. And another step out of bounds. So move it to the 50-yard line now with 7 seconds left. I'm not sure what the timeout situation is like, but if I'm MCC, if you do have a timeout, you throw it across the middle for about 10 yards if you can right here. You take that timeout quick, and with 1 second left, you got to line up for a 53-yard field goal.
Yeah, but if you're Titusville, I would try to send some pressure to this quarterback. He's been sitting back there just picking you apart.
Absolutely.
You got to add some heat to him as well. They're going to try to get a pass interference call. I know that's one of the things that the coach is telling them, hey, throw it up there. You may get a pass interference call, and you live to fight another day.
Yep. 7 seconds left. Might be the last play of the game for MCC. Troyan takes the snap. Throws it over to DeWitt. DeWitt's going to get out of bounds right about the 42-yard line. So there's 3 seconds left. There's a flag on the play. And it's a hold. So they have to use a timeout now because of a 10-second runoff. You have no choice. You got to throw it to the end zone right here. And I can tell you right now, the sophomore quarterback's not throwing it 65 yards in the air.
Well, stranger things have happened.
Stranger things have happened, but if you're talking about his arm, there's no way he's getting this ball from the 40 all the way to the end zone.
And you got to tell this quarterback, just throw it with all your might downfield and hope for the best. But it's definitely a lot to ask for a sophomore quarterback. But I've seen stranger things have happened.
Stranger things have happened. The only sophomore that I can imagine can make that throw is probably
Wonderful Champ
Mons.
I seen that young man throw 70 yards.
Yeah, that's a specimen right there. What size from a sophomore quarterback? I mean, we saw him up person live, and I mean, that's a big kid for a sophomore.
Yeah.
Big kid.
Definitely. I tell you what, the fans are in it. The cheerleaders are cheering. This is a good night for Titusville if they're able to pull this game out.
3 seconds left in the ball game. This will be the last play of the game,
barring any penalties.
Yeah, that is true.
We've seen plenty tonight.
That is true. Throw it up there, get a pass interference, and then you got one untimed down. So you never know what can happen. The MCC will line it up. Terriers are in the prevent defense. Troyan steps back, throws it over the middle. Flores makes a guy miss. Chucks it over to the side. And the tackle is made, and the Terriers pull it off on their homecoming game, 21-20.
Wow.
This is the type of game that not only do the fans love to see, Terry and I love to see, but my goodness, the Titusville Terriers have been needing and wanting to finish a game, and they just did it.
There will be no sleep tonight in Titusville.
Absolutely not.
Everybody's excited, and it's wonderful. It's great to see this. Yeah, it's homecoming. You don't want to lose on homecoming night. So great job from Titusville, hanging in there when they looked like they weren't going to win this game at all. But great job for them, great job with their defense, great job to the coaching staff, but most importantly, the fans, the cheerleaders, the band, everyone had a big, huge role in Titusville winning tonight.
Great ball game all the way around. 21-20 is the final here tonight from Al Wernicke Field. This was probably one of the better games that we've seen all season long. I can't even lie. Any last thoughts about this game, Terry?
Well, I'll tell you what. When I saw the score from the last game that these two teams played, I was saying to myself, I really hope that it's not a 59-3 blowout. And it's definitely not that. This is probably one of the best games that I did see all season, and we've covered some really good teams here in Brevard County, but these teams are on the rise.
Yep.
These teams have talent, and I know they're going to lose some of their players as well, but it goes to show you that any given Friday, anything can happen.
So MCC will move to 1-4 on the year. Titusville will move to 3-4. Titusville has a big-time date with Merritt Island in a couple of weeks, and they'll be dialed and ready for that one. So from all of you watching, once again, thank you. This is Terry Spain and Zane Garcia from the Friday Night Locker Room on Space Coast Daily.